Today, the Railway coming up, $750,000. Group 1 level, one of the most famous races on the Australian calendar. And Roman Arch is going to run the favourite, I think, with Avenida Madeiro, or Avenida Madeiro, number 3, the top Perth mare. Let's head to Wes for some pre-race comments.
The gates are back, racing in the Railway. Titanic Jack was allowed to fall out the back. Red Hannigan's going to go back with him and Early Express. Wire Detonator and Nikolic is riding. Roman Arch hard for speed, racing up onto the first turn. And Early Express and Roman Arch are going to share the lead here. Over on the outside, going up is Who Did It into third place, ahead of Wire Detonator. 100 going down the side. Who Did It, given more reins, Strode to the lead. Who Did It takes charge and now settles a length and a half on Early Express. And Nikolic has Roman Arch in the box seat running third. Then came the Dapple Grey, one joined him on the fence behind them. Came Blinded, 1.5. Then Life's a Bounty. Avenida Madeiro now being called upon. Over on the inside, Main Stage coming around the turn, followed by Wild Target, Red Hannigan, and Forget Titanic Jack. Early Express headed. Who Did It? Covertly's into the open at the 200. Early Express the leader. Camilleri hasn't moved on Covertly though, and Covertly went to Early Express and raced away. Blinded's down the outside. On the outside, Covertly from Early Express, and Covertly wins the Railway. Covertly, a half length Early Express. Third home Blinded. Then Rockford Bay rattling home into fourth place. Followed back on the inside next of all by Main Stage and then Red Hannigan. They were followed then by Wild Target, a gap, Life's a Bounty. Wire Detonator, Roman Arch didn't finish it off. Further back in the field then Avenida Madeiro. Who Did It? Mapaholic changing lanes. Then Rescuer and one of the last ones in, Titanic Jack.
4, Sir Corduroy. It's the other one in the market, and its form's been very consistent.
Gem of a ride by Lucas Camilleri on Covertly. Early Express at Big Odd second, Blinded third. Alfie, you know this young fellow who hails from...
Lucas never quite got there in Melbourne after riding, you know, good... Ron, what do you think? A great ride. Barriers certainly made the difference. First and second, barriers 2 and 3. Covertly just had the charm run. Look, she tagged Roman Arch, who was bustled up in the early stages to hold his advantage from barrier 1. And geez, when she peeled off, it was all over. Early Express...
It's in New Zealand.
Yes, indeed.
Only seen 2 this year. Excellent. And this one.
And this one. And this one we'll tell you about in just a few moments' time. You were telling us about in New Zealand?
Yes. I'm impressed with him. Have been for a while.
OK. We're all impressed with him. We're impressed with him since Brisbane.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, here's the horse in question. This is the Group 1 New Zealand 2000 Guineas. Darcy Brahma. It's in the yellow colours, getting clear now.
Away on Captain Kurt. Now Darcy Brahma bulldozes his way into the clear, and look at him stride out, Darcy Brahma, and he's gobbled them up in about 5 strides and went to the lead. Michael Walker says, now just show how good you are. He's the best 3-year-old in the country by far, and by 5 lengths in the Guineas. Captain Kurt and Cruiser, popular trifecta.
Well, I just said keep a very open mind. I said just go out there with an open mind once the gates horse. You know, he's got a very good turn of foot, so I wasn't too nervous, but you know, that shows the lead's riding a good race, you know.
And this will be it for Darcy Brahma for the spring for sure?
Yeah, definitely, he'll go.
Now, that was impressive for a few reasons, Rich.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because he's an exciting 3-year-old, this horse. He turns his head a little bit to the side here. He's got a few little kinks they'll need to iron out of him, and he's beating horses who wouldn't get warm in a decent event in Australia, but this horse will. This horse is a quality racehorse, and I'm telling you, by Danehill out of Grand Eschazeau, he's beautifully bred and he's worth a fortune as a stallion. All he's got to do now is win a couple of good ones in Australia and maybe even 1 or 2 overseas, and there is your tens of millions of dollars worth of racehorse.
Do you know what a pukana is?
No.
No.
It's Maori heritage, where they stick their tongue out. We can go back to that shot of Michael Walker there. That's a pukana.
A pukana.
And he was warned last time he did that not to do it, and he said,
oh please.
He more or less said to the stewards,
oh please.
Stuff you. It's a heritage Maori.
Yeah, he has Maori heritage. Yeah. Look, I don't care if he's got Maori heritage. Not if he wants to stick his tongue out.
Yes, yeah.
Let him stick his tongue out. There. Stop me from doing it. I mean, who cares? I mean, the boy wants to look at the camera and stick his tongue out.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Sunday morning. Sunday morning.
An Australian galloper, Starcraft, has been retired to stud in England. The 5-year-old was recently crowned Europe's champion miler following back-to-back Group 1 victories in France and Britain. Owner Paul Macon had considered racing the stallion at next month's international meeting in Hong Kong, before declaring he had nothing left to prove by racing on. Starcraft retires, having earned almost $3 million in prize money from 11 wins.
The old fella can be first past the post.
Okay, thanks, Wes.
Here he is, Craig Staples, and he's on board True Steel in the fruit and veg. Okay, now the next at Ascot, favourite is Free at Last, ahead of Manjar, Lock the Vault, Roman Arch and...
Sprung the gates quickly from the inside in company with Early Express. Lock the Vault left well. Coming over Blevo, Rockford Bay. Rescue is going to settle just behind them with Maffa King, Torrid Affair, Roman Arch and True Steel's out deep, settling down. Further back Blinded, Free at Last, and the tempo's very steady. Roman Arch outside of her, then Manjar, Blinded, Scenic Shot, spotting the leader about 16. Over on the inside to Main Stage, and Lust for Dust is last at the 700. In the Fruit and Vengeance, True Steel pilots the field a half length on Blevo. Two of the old war horses together. There's Lock the Vault going up into third place around Early Express. They're being trailed home by Rockford Bay, travelling well for the cloud. On the rails behind them, Bon Argent in a bunching field. And then Rescuer Maffa King to the outside. Scenic Shot starting his run in front of Roman Arch. Further back, Free at Last in a bit of traffic around the turners. Lock the Vault heads them off, but here comes Rockford Bay. Rockford Bay and Lock the Vault have come together from Blevo. 2 or 3 lengths back, Rescuer and Scenic Shot, but it's Lock the Vault in front. Here's Early Express getting home near the inside. Early Express goes to Lock the Vault. Put play to him. Early Express draws away. Early Express beat Lock the Vault another second. Then on the rails, Bon Argent third from Free at Last, getting to the line hard from Rockford Bay. They were followed by wider out Main Stage, Blevo, Manjar, Torrid Affair, Maffa King, Rescuer, Scenic Shot pulling up quickly. Remarkably, after his...
Number 4, Early Express for Jason Whiting and Peter...
Yeah, Jason Whiting aboard Early Express at big odds over Lock the Vault and Bon Argent third. Richard, there was a pretty good run in the race outside of the first 3.
There was. Free at Last was an absolute beauty. These horses that all ran up in the placings here were on top of the pace all the way. He was back for at last, back in the ruck, running into trouble around the corner, had to be eased off the heels of a couple. You can see him back there, the white cap near the outside, and he's easing off heels again. Finally he gets to the outside and he starts to really stretch out, and I thought he was unlucky. Sometimes horses who come from the back of the field, they appear to be unlucky and they're actually not, but I think he really was. And although all
got the money for it last.
I went off one run too early. I had $300 each way that the other day in the railway.
When ran second?
The winner?
Yeah, no, the second or 3 at Early Express. Yeah, had every possible chance in the fence. I don't think Rockford Bay can run a strong 1800. He was beautifully ridden. He sat about 4 lengths off the lead. Seemed to have every possible run in transit, but he came out to win and he just didn't quite get the trip. He had one go at 1800.
Just a rain with his Group 1 romps last season. He was duly voted champion middle distance and stayer in Hong Kong with the wins in the Derby, the QE2 Cup and the Champions and Cheddar Cup. This is his 4th run in now, but clearly this is the only race that has counted. He'll be primed to his top.
Agents of Rain at $1.80. Second favourite is another local in Russian Pearl at $10, and in fact it's number 9, the Irish horse Alexander Gold Run at $6.40, then Russian Pearl, and a 4th pick is... This is the Hong Kong Cup. Matt, what did you like?
Vengeance of Rain's price, so he's still very short at the 1.7. There has been...
And they're away. Russian Pearl goes back. Alexandra Gold Run, not a lot of speed. Mara held slow out. Widow Wisp straight to the front. Aparto follows him down, and River Dancer's going to park in 3rd. Vengeance of Rain lands in 4. Touch of Land 5 right for a moment. Apollo 2nd. River Dancer 3rd. Touch of Land 4 from Vengeance of Rain. Alexandra Gold Run next. Mara Hell. They roll a bit quicker. No record still. Russian Pearl, Pride and Green Treasure last of all. He asked Widow Wisp to try and pick up a bit more on the corner. 600 out. Leads by half a length. Aparto travels well. Touch of Land right there. River Dancer, Vengeance of Rain gets the card in. Alexandra Gold Run trying to push him out of the way. Delpesh says, stay there. I go first. Marahel, Pride next. Russian Pearl to the inside. Apollo went straight past the gang. Touch of Land, River Dancer. Alexandra Gold Run went for the run on the fence. It all shut on her. And Vengeance of Rain ran up. But Pride's coming
going on. Mara Hell closing. Pride is running at Vengeance of Rain. Vengeance of Rain has got a length. Pride cutting her back with every stride. Half a length in it. Vengeance of Rain fights and wins the cup. Vengeance of Rain, the world champion now, wins it from Pride. Mara Hell, Russian Pearl. Green Treasure stayed. Touch of Land, Alexandra Gold Run ran into trouble. Apollo, Willow Westman, River Dancer, last of all. The Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Cup goes to the home favourite. And the home favourite, Vengeance of Rain, claims the title as the World Racing Championship winner. Pride, the longer trip horse.
And 4 and 8, and as I speak, being good money at long odds for Impala, and also there's nice money coming now for Proudly Aggro. But my numbers, as I say, 17 Mastermind. I think this horse can improve quite a bit. He appears that way anyway from his last start. He's got a good alley, 52-8. I'll keep him on top.
Over Target, his favourite on Unitab. Bookmakers are prepared to risk him. Take over Target off the inside, began quickly. Proudly Aggro, Sedan, so Breakfast is going fast in the early part. Enthusiast just behind them, back with Celtic Trial and Catenian. Passing the 800 metres, Mark Impala is the leader. Take over Target second, third Mastermind. Then Mardi Gras followed then by Sir Breakfast. Proudly Aggro next on the fence, followed by Sedan. Enthusiast wide, Bacardi Run getting a good run on the rail. And then Top Mark hard to catch, Dersey M followed by Showbiz Kid. Step ahead, Consular, Admiral Spy, Catenian and Celtic Trial. Around the turn, Take Over Target slipped up on the inside of Impala, and at the 300, Take Over Target a length over Impala, 2 lengths away, Proudly Aggro getting in the clear. Then comes a Breakfast down the outside from Bacardi Run, but Take Over Target has slipped away. He's a mile in front. Proudly Aggro, Bacardi Run, Sedan run home, but Take Over Target has gapped them. Take Over Target by 5 lengths to either Bacardi Run or Proudly Aggro. So Breakfast fourth from Sedan, Dersey M, Admiral Spy, hard to catch, Showbiz Kid, Impala, Top Mark, Catenian, Celtic Trial, Step Ahead, Consular, a long way back, Enthusiast followed up at the end, and Take Over Target has absolutely blown them away. He smashed the course record. Absolutely smashed it. 17.88. He smashes the course record held by Lion Hunter at 18.06. He smashes the race record of Chief De Beers of 18.2, and he's run home 33.78 his last 600 metres. And I'll tell you something I'm glad about. I'm glad that the people of Brisbane have been able to see this horse at his best, because the Winter Carnival last year, it all went wrong from the first day he was here. There was trouble with his stall. He hit his head. He had to pass
on the Summer Stakes, 174. New track record run by Take Over Target, who won by, it was 5 or 6 lengths. It was.
Oh yeah, Joe Janiak, Jay Ford, course record. Bacardi run second, Proudly Aggro third. And you have actually, Zach, ridden this against it.
The jockey's room at Rose Hill after the last, and Impala applied a fair deal of pressure to him throughout the whole race, and they'd gone very hard, and I actually thought coming to the corner I was expecting him to fold, but for him to kick like that just shows what a class horse he is.
That's exactly what it is too. This is a Group 1 class horse, and if he ever captured his Group 1 ability, which we've seen before in last spring in Melbourne, etc., then he was always going to be too good for the locals up there, and you know, who are, to my eye, you know, when you look across the board, probably basically Group 2 and 3 horses. So he's put a space on him. He's run 17.88, smashed the course record, broken 1.8. That's him back to his absolute best, and well done, Joe, to get a horse that gives you trouble. He's got leg troubles, we all know that, and get him back to his absolute best.
Yeah, Rich. A big feature, the Group 2, 175,000, Kenan Burnborough Villiers. This has been a very big move from Malcolm. It sure has, Rich, and let's look at the 24. Big tip around for precise timing. Fiery Venture, $29 is comparable. Samsung a Song, $11.70, better on track. Uber's 25, fair enough. A good move for Aqua d'Amour. A clear second favourites, Fern, a $1.5. $8 is spot on. Cataclysm just going down the board. Let me tell you that Malcolm, $2.70 the tote. They bet marginally better, but there's not there anymore. Mark, for a horse that's unknown in the top grade, the Group 2, Kenan Burnborough Villiers Stakes, this has been a very big move on track for Malcolm.
Racing in the Villiers, and Vanquish came out last and hit the road as going well back with Peakaland. From gate number 1, Cataclysm bounded out, but the stablemate Wild Queen is going up to attack it. Spurison and Fiery Venture are handy. Benedetti from a wide alley is going forward. Triple D is also searching to get in. And then came Uber, followed by Spirit of Tara. Spurison was next from Havana Wind out wide, and then Wild Queen. Samsung a Song's gone forward, but he's 4 wide and he's pulling hard. Then came Uber, followed by Fiery Venture. Triple D was next. Further back, Precise Timing and Spirit of Tara. West Country, Aqua d'Amore. And then came Sulamore back behind them from Force Apollo. Malcolm spots the leaders about 10 lengths. He's making a move 3 wide from Vanquished. Hit the road, Fire at Will. And Peakalana's back on the inside last of all. Cataclysm the leader as they turn for the Villiers. 2 lengths in front of Spurison. Down the outside, Samsung a Song and Havana Wind. And then Uber and Wild Queen, and further back, Fiery Venture. Malcolm and Aqua d'Amore are coming right down the outside. Aqua d'Amore sprinted fast and hit the lead. Malcolm's a length and a half away and trying to peg him back, but Aqua d'Amore has dashed away, and it's got the Villiers one, Aqua d'Amore in the all blue. Malcolm will get second, Fiery Venture third, and then Precise Timing followed in behind them by Samsung a Song and Sulamore, and then came Spirit of Tara from Wild Queen, and then came in behind them Vanquished, Havana Wind, Fire at Will from Hit the Road and Peakaland, and then came Uber Cataclysm.
Wow. We thought that Malcolm could sprint quickly. Didn't that mare unleash Aqua d'Amore? That's a stablemate Cataclysm in front on tape in the Wig White Waldy Blaze. There's another stablemate, Fiery Venture in the yellow, and now Aqua d'Amore in the colours of Mrs. Magnia, the wife of the principal of the Coolmore stud, John Magnia, and look at the acceleration she showed. What a valuable broodmare she is now. Aqua d'Amore has gone home in the Burn Villiers, and Burnbrook have even...
7. Ken?
Yeah, thank you, Mark. 2 very good horses. Here's Richie.
Here she is, Australia's First Lady. Plenty of success in the Doncaster.
Win by 2 1/4 lengths today over a mile. She'll back up now and we'll go on to the Summer Cup. And then she'll probably have a short let up and then go on and come back for the Sydney Cup.
She's turned everything around.
It's 10-10. That was a first 4 race on Unitab. $131.80. We move to race 7. 5 Petrella comes out. And there are no changes. Third leg of the treble, and indeed the quaddie there. I thought El Senor would be hard to run down from barrier number 1. There's no doubt he'll lead, but there's also good speed in the race.
Beating number 2. And of course, City Pacific Doomben Stakes. What a good race. I'm going this way. 6, 1, 4 and 5. Of course, take over Target. There's plenty of people waiting to get on him. Same with the Totas he is there with the book.
He won here in the Summer Stakes 2 weeks ago, take over Target. Impaler might hold the key to this race. Run. Gates open and they're off and racing now. Take over Target left okay, and one of the first to go out of the gates are Breakfast, and Paler's driving through along the fence shortly after the start, but Take Over Target is the leader when they go through the first 200. He won't cross, and Paler slips underneath him. Turn the first corner, 700 to go. Impaler is the leader by a length. Take Over Target second, Enthusiast third, so Breakfast fourth. A length and a half Imperialism on the inside of Celtic Trial, followed by Showbiz Kid. Dersey Emma's deep. Then comes Consular, Proudly Aggro, and then Admiral Spy and Sedan. They're on the turn, 400 to go. Impaler the leader. Here's Take Over Target coming after Impaler. 2 Enthusiasts, followed by Sir Breakfast. 3 Imperialism from Showbiz Kid in the straight, and Take Over Target. He's exploded to the front from Impaler. 2 away, Sir Breakfast, followed by Enthusiast, Showbiz Kid, Dersey M, but Take Over Target. He's clear from Impaler with 100 to go. He's streaking away, Take Over Target. He'll bolt in again. Take Over Target by 2. Impaler second, Enthusiast third. Photo fourth, Sir Breakfast or Showbiz Kid from Dersey M, Admiral Spy. The next time Celtic Trial, Imperialism, and then Proudly Aggro, followed by Consular, and tailed off was Sedan, who virtually took no part. Now, where's the clock? Where's the clock? He's just missed Felvalon's course record by 0.04 of a hundredth of a second. He's gone 1:17.25. He smashed the race record. Felvalon's course record's 1:17.21. He's 0.04 of a second outside of taking his second track record here at Doomben after he smashed the 1200 metre one 2 weeks ago. He was never going to get beaten. And wasn't right in the Winter Carnival. When things went wrong from the first day, when things went wrong with the stall here, and he sort of hit himself, and he had to undergo a veterinary inspection, and right throughout the Winter Carnival, even though he did run third in the Doom at 10,000.
The trifecta 200.
Button. Racing. Good Dispatch Bar Command Decision, who seemed to miss the start by a couple of lengths and beat the tide. The old boy of the field comes across quickly, and from the outside alley, he's on the fence at the end of 100 metres to lead from Grand Eloquent going up to second. Fiery Venture was next, and then came Verb. He's a little bit wide at the moment. Aqua d'Amour's in the centre. So d'Amour's had a lovely run in midfield. She's 2 lengths away. And then Danebar. Bosses right behind Aqua d'Amour on Lord of the Land. It's third last from Command Decision. And last is County Tyrone. It's beat the tide inside the 600 by 2 on Grand Eloquent. Fiery Venture peels out 3 wide, and then Verb on the inside, followed by Aqua d'Amour, and then came Lord of the Land, Danebar, Command Decision. The old boy County Tyrone is last as they come up the rise. Grand Eloquent through in the tail, and it's beat the tide in front. Aqua d'Amour has cruised up on the outside. Aqua d'Amour shot to the lead at the 200. Could this be a mighty victory? It looks like she's going to pull off the double. Aqua d'Amour has bounded away at the 100 from County Tyrone, and Aqua d'Amour, an amazing victory with the big weight. She'll go on and win it from County Tyrone and beat the tide. Then Lord of the Land from Fiery Venture and Danebar. Command Decision, Verb, and last in was Grand Eloquent.
Well, she had a whack of weight, but she's also got that stamp of class now, looking at her last 2 wins. The Villiers and now the Summer Cup. And what a great big double she's completed. The numbers 1, she's going. I think Gay Waterhouse could run her in anything, and she'd be more than competitive.
The Summer Cup. Sterling performance by 1 Aqua d'Amour, 1-2-6. Aqua d'Amour, Dan Beasley and Gay Waterhouse completing the Villiers Summer Cup double. Great performance. 3.
Bon Argent looked well. She's only having a second run beyond 2,000 metres, but gee, she caught the eye in the yard, as did the others. Here, Darren, I'm afraid I couldn't have caught Courting, not on a CB Cox Stakes run. It's probably a better horse than that, but just on that run I couldn't have it. 6, 11 and 2 from the yard.
Thanks, Wes. And they are in the hands of the starter and also the gateman. Just starting to place them in. Runners are moving up into the stalls for the running of the BMW Perth Cup. Higgins Gold the Cup, but all eyes are on Black Tom, the favourite. Well drawn. Settle down near the inside, and they're racing pretty compact early. Out of the course, 850 out. Blevo B swinging again, come together from KKO, who's had a torrid run. Eldid Navidad's going up wide in a packing field. There's the Victorian mare, Quintanilla, circling them. Early Express getting through. He's now trying to get up near the inside. Universal Warrior from the back of the field has started a searching run. Back behind them, Higgins Gold. There's Black Tom weaving his way through, coming to the home corner at the 450, and Universal Warrior deep out, grabbed the lead from Quintanilla. Early Express got an inside run when they swing. Higgins Gold, and here's Black Tom. Here he comes now. Universal Warrior at the 200. Black Tom now drops a gear. Hall said, "Go, Tom," and Black Tom exploded away. And this is the year for Peter Hall. This is the one that he's wanted, and Black Tom's going to race away and win a mighty victory in the Cup. Black Tom, 6 lengths. Master Minx from nowhere might have got second on the line from Early Express. Universal Warrior has run the race of his life. Thermo King from last next in. Then Quintanilla, KKO. And Black Tom has treated them to a staying exhibition. Master Minx in third, but it's Black Tom's year. He ran third in the Cup 12 months ago.
Destroyed his rivals in the
racing. Precise timing to the inside. First out, Dersey M stood there and missed it with Scenic Wells. Out wide, Wonder and Appertain, and Enthusiast is going very fast. Here they go to the first corner at the 1400, and Enthusiast has rushed to the lead. In second spot, Appertain, Cold Start third, Wonder fourth. Leaders mark the pace of Cracker. Enthusiast 3 to Appertain, 1 to Cold Start, 2.5 to Wanderer. 2.5 precise timing on the inside of Star of St. Cabot from High Academy. Celtic Trials wide from Consular between runners, and then Conray Star. Dersey back on the fence from Admiral Spy. Zorbarai is wide, and then Scenic Wells inside. Video Hits and Accelerators 3 deep and last. Enthusiast at the 600 metres mark, 5 now. Appertain second, followed by Cold Start Wanderer. Precise timing called upon from High Academy. Consular, Star of St. Cabot, Dersey M, Conray Star, and then Admiral Spy. Around the bend, Enthusiast, he's well clear. He's 4 to Dersey M. getting up on the fence from Apatane. Precise Timing's coming at them, and Consular's getting a split in the middle. Dersium hit the front at the 200. Precise Timing down the outside. Wanderer still there, but Dersium is the leader with 100 metres to go. Precise Timing and High Academy's jumping up out of the ground. Dersium's just in front. He'll fall in. Dersium, he won. He beat Precise Timing and High Academy. It's a photo fourth. Accelerators out deep on the track with Scenic Wells and Wanderer. Conchal behind those from Video Hits. The next hour of St Cubbert, and that's 2 Burnbra's on the trot.
The feature races here at the Gold Coast today. Race 5 will be for the 3-year-olds Millions, and then race 7 today is the 2-year-old Magic Millions. Let's show you some early figures. I have a feeling Fashions Afield will be the short-priced favourite for the 3-year-old Millions, and race 5 Langaza, after having that dreadful luck first up there in Brisbane. Diamonds on the inside, $7.10 on Unitab. Then we get Co's there at $9.80. Here's the favourite, Fashions Afield, Unitab $2.70. She's from New South Wales, so it may be coming down into the yard. We'll have a look at them shortly. But first, let's hear from Dan Beasley, the rider of Fashions Afield.
The field. Fashion Afield began brilliantly. Langaza near the inside, got out in a big hurry. Zenu, Goshu, Mighty Victory and Terashenko. There's a line of 5 in the early part. The 900 metres mark. Langaza, Mighty Victory and Zenu, Goshu, a line of 3. Fashions Afield fourth, getting a great run now. She's one off the fence on the outside of Jamana. 2 to Terashenko, another 2.5. Telly Trader inside. Katsitas, then Upilio, Pine Zero. Nova Stars next on the rails from Diamond on the inside. Emmett Time. Cresta Run, Vocalic and Master Dennis. At the 500 coming to the turn, Langaza, Mighty Victory, and here's Fashions Afield going up quickly as they come to the corner, and around the turn they come. Fashions Afield and Jamana have gone up to Langaza. Terashenko on the outside's coming at them. Cresta Run's making ground from a long way back in the straight. Langaza, Jamana, Fashions Afield and Terashenko on the outside. Fashions Afield and Terashenko have taken the lead from Cresta Run. Terashenko's in front of Fashions Afield. Terashenko's just in front. Terashenko's too strong. Terashenko beat Fashions Afield and Cresta Run. Master Dennis has run fourth from Jamana, Pine Zero. Diamonds on the inside. Upilio followed by Nova Star. And then comes Emmett Time. Pink, they put... Oh, definitely. You know, it's great to come home and win a good race. I've struggled here for the past few years, but this makes up for it all.
Perfect run. There was a lot of pressure. How far can the horse go on? Because it's got the good form lines with California Dane.
Well, I think he's exceptional, but we're happy to have the million today.
Yeah, no, go and enjoy it. Well done.
Thanks. Cheers, mate.
Peter Moody joining us there, and Craig Newitt's coming in. Craig Newitt has come back from
$120,000. He was offered by Yolandi Stud. He was purchased by Newton Chan. And what do they deal with? Aiton, it was well spec'd in the bookies. Ring came into 14.
Jumping and so on, and sent him down, and you know, he's 6 starts, 4 wins.
You were really confident yesterday. I mean, all the favourites were being spoken about, but you were confident that this horse, with the California Dane form out of Melbourne, that you could go very close.
Well, I thought the filly would be too good for us, but I was confident we could be seriously competitive, and there's something went amiss with her. Well, we might have been able to snag a lot, you know, at Doomben, her previous run, she had no luck and got beat, so we wanted to be Johnny on the spot if that was the case again. But
Pete Hales from Terrence over 1,200 metres. So much interest in this race today. It's a quality field, a lot of unbeaten youngsters going head to head. Here's the ratings for the big one, the 2-year-old Millions. They're with Pulsator and Assertive equally. Some early prices for the 2-year-old Millions, so you can see what your horse is paying. Master Archie's given a good in the week too, as there has been for Pulsator. $6.10. That's good value at the moment. He's been as short as $3.20 with the feed runners are heading to the start, and I can tell you that Churchill Downs has been very heavily backed here at the Gold Coast. It makes you wonder if perhaps his owner, Mr. Singleton, has had a large bet on him here today, because
they're at the moment at 4.70 close, and the best of them would be Mirror Mirror at $42 for Clary.
Light on. Gates open, they're off and racing. Churchill Downs has missed the start. He's come out second last. Diamonds MI was the first to go, and Pulsator began quickly. Super Savings is trying to get underneath them. Churchill Downs is third last, followed by Mirror Mirror, and way off on the fences last. At the 600, Mel is clear by 2. Pulsator second, Diamonds MI on the fence, followed by Gold Edition, Super Savings. A link to Rygart, Diego Garcia, Tantra. Then comes Crusket. Assertive's a long way back, turning Going for home, and then Master Archie and Churchill Downs a mile back. Mel first for home at the 400. He's clear. He's out by 3. Gold Edition, Pulsator, Super Savings, Diamond Eye. Reigart gets to the outside from Diego Garcia. Crusket running home. Mel in front past the 200. Gold Edition, Pulsator, and here comes Mirror Mirror. Mirror Mirror is absolutely flashing down the outside. It's going to swamp them. Mirror Mirror got up and won the millions from a 3-way photo between Churchill Downs. What a run him. Reigart, and over near the inside was Crusket. Behind those, Diego Garcia and Mel, followed by Gold Edition, and beaten 1 to the line. Mirror Mirror on the wall. Well, Strawberry Hill. They've done it again. John Singleton will shout for the bar. It won't be the members, it'll be public only. But Mirror Mirror has come from a mile back. Trained by Clary Connors and ridden by Danny Beasley, will be one of the long... What about the run of Churchill Downs, thank you? No wonder they put the money on him. He walked out of the gates.
Down the straight.
Oh, Belle de Jour all over.
Yeah, it was. Go and enjoy it.
Mirror, thank you.
All righty. Now, Dan.
We've worked close together, and Clary, on Tuesday, she produced a winning gallop, and I said to Clary, I said, what you've done, you've just got it to peak on for the right week, and...
He's not here. Singer's not here. Can't believe it. We'll locate him. We'll give him a ring and find out where he is and get him here, Matt.
I was going to say there'll be some exciting scenes in the mounting yard when he gets here, Andrew, because not only is he Quinella'd the Magic Millions, he's cashed up because he's had the sale topper so far at the Magic Million sales. He had that beautiful...
Mirror by De Here, same sire as Belle de Jour, successful. Churchill Downs just missed pulling off a big betting plunge. The bookies would have been happy with that. Reigart, no luck in 3rd position.
Let's talking about what she's run the last 600 in. Take us through these emotions, the way she steamed here.
Yeah, well, I was watching the race with my wife Marie, and I could see us out wide just on the TV because I watched it on TV, and I see her sort of starting to come home, and I look at this, she's run the race, she's filling. All of a sudden, like, my golly, she's going to be in it, you know, and as they say, reminiscent of Belle de Jour days.
I was just going to bring up...
Yeah, definitely, have got back in the field and come with, well, big runs coming from nowhere when you don't think they can win, but she was the best filly on the day, without a doubt, yesterday. In saying that, I love this second horse, Churchill Downs. He's all quality. He's yet to fill into himself. I think he'll be winning Group 1 races, you know, staying sound, obviously, but whether he's a slipper...
Ian Cohen. Victoria Derby winner Benicio has been retired by trainer Lee Friedman after suffering a leg injury. The 3-year-old, who defied his sprinting bloodlines to win Flemington's famous classic last spring, injured a tendon after track work late last week. Connections making the decision to send the valuable colt immediately to stud. Friedman had...
The Group 3 Rubiton Stakes over 1,000 metres. It's worth $100,000 and it's run at weight for age, and we have a dominating favourite. There are no medals being handed out for bravery in the betting ring to bookmakers. It's... Spark of Life has been as cramped as the odds all week had indicated.
And it does look like a formality, but anyway, if you want to take the $1.60 with the bookmakers, Steve, it's a bit better than the Commonwealth Bank are handing out at the moment for the 12-month period.
Yes, well, with your vast resources, Terry, you'd be familiar with the various investment opportunities around the place. $1.60 is pretty short. Terry, Matt Allerton with What's the Mail?
Settles. Racing, Spark of Life began well. What's the Mail slow out. Secateurs and Live in Vain in the centre fast out. Murray Downs behind those. Bomber Bill's back near the inside, being joined by What's the Mail. As they settle fully at the 750 metres mark, Secateurs on the outside of Spark of Life. In fact, he's crossed Spark of Life and he goes to the fence. Secateurs leading Spark of Life and Murray Downs. A length away, What's the Mail, Bomber Bill, Live in Vain. Only 3 lengths covers the field, and Spark of Life moving up, just wanting to hang a little bit coming around the corner. Boss niggling at him. Secateurs leads the way through the gap from Spark of Life. He's under a bit of pressure. Then Murray Down, What's the Mail, and further out on the track, Old Bomber Bill running on from Live in Vain. The favourites in hot water. Spark of Life flat to the boards at the 300. Secateurs leads the way. What's the Mail, and here's Bomber Bill and Live in Vain. Bomber Bill and Live in Vain after What's the Mail and Secateurs. Old Bomber moved up on the outside with Live in Vain from What's the Mail. Bomber Bill and What's the Mail. Bomber Bill, What's the Mail, nothing in it. Bomber Bill or What's the Mail and a ding-dong go. Live in Vain third from Secateurs. Spark of Life second last. And never looked a winner on the corner. Murray Downs last in. Here's the finish length shot coming up, and Bomber will get it by a whisker. Bomber Bill. Vlad Jurek this time for Maureen Harry. Has just won it from What's the Mail, who looked alike.
crossed, I thought. But this is sentiment as you rarely see on a race. But this is outstanding. This fellow, a 10-year-old at start number 87. This is achievement. And a wonderful training effort by Maureen Harry, because probably when he marched out of the stable of...
He's been a remarkable horse. He's competed at the highest level, and given that he's had feet problems throughout his career, they've had to patch him up most of the time.
He's getting a great reception too, Terry.
Listen to that, folks. It wasn't Spark of Life, the Tucson favourite, that won it. It was the upset with Bomber Bill. Vlad Jurek pointing to the horse.
Down to the valley for the big one of the night, the Carlion Stakes.
Yes, Ken, we're looking forward to the running of the feature race here tonight at Moonee Valley. 8 runners, 5 of them individual Group 1 winners. We couldn't have asked for a better field, and riders have been leagued aboard for this Group 2 event to be run over 1,200 metres at weight for age. Running through the betting here, and the main ones, obviously California Dane, odds-on favourite at $1.90. Also the odds-on favourite, California Dane from the Lee Friedman stable. He is the fastest horse around 1,200 metres here at the Valley. He set that record here on the 31st of December, beating Terashenko, and we saw Terashenko, of course, go up and win the Magic Millions 3-year-old trophy. Superb form. He's unbeaten in 3 starts here at Moonee Valley. Can he make it 4?
Well, of course he can. He's 4 for 4 at the distance. He's 3 for 3 at the track. He's 3 for 3 track at distance. He carried 58 and beat Terashenko, who's won at the Gold Coast. Third was Stickpin, who's won twice since.
Virage to Fortune and Spark of Life came out running. California Dane will sit off them in third. Amtrak goes back from Bomber Bill. 650. Spark of Life with all guns blazing. He's out by 2 or 3 lengths on Virage to Fortune. Boss is going to make them chase. California Dane third. Here's old Bomber Bill going around the outside of Valedictum and Amtrak, and Casual Pass can't keep up with them before the bend. 450 out. Spark of Life a length and a half. Virage to Fortune and California Dane chasing now. Then came Bomber Bill and Valedictum with the last call. Around the bend, Spark of Life in front of Virage to Fortune, and the 3-year-old letting go with a mighty run. California Dane went to them in one stride, running on Bomber Bill, but it's California Dane in front. Virage to Fortune is coming back like a tigeress. California Dane and Virage to Fortune. California Dane in front and won the Group 2. California Dane has beaten Virage to Fortune. Photo third, Casual Pass out of the ground. Bomber Bill, Valedictum. Spark of Life, not the same Spark of Life we've seen before. Amtrak last in. A great race comes again. California Dane gets the head out, and California Dane has won the Group 2 Essendon Mazda Carline Stakes in a cliffhanger. A rousing reception for California Dane, the Danehill colt.
The joy after that race too. He's a real star in the making.
Yeah, he's a lovely horse, and well done. He's you know, obviously being a Danehill colt, there's a bit of extra pressure because there's so few of them left, and he's the form young sprinter at the moment. So, you know, it was important that we could win tonight.
Won't be
8 and 4 after the running of the 5th race. 3 numbers even.
Williams Casual Pass, absolutely outstanding running third, 19.81 within an ace of California Dane's track record. That is a super performance by the first 3. Race in so many aspects, don't you?
It was a terrific race, Bruce, and earlier in the night we saw a very strong 3-year-old race where they'd gone particularly quickly early. The race won by Mary King. They ran 34.9. Well, here Virage to Fortune ran 34.2 for the first 600, which is very quick from a standing start. She was brave. She was terrifically brave. The winner responded to Noel Callow's urgings, and as we can see on the screen, he'd sweated up a little bit. He'd been feeling the heat, the winner California Dane, and of course Casual Pass in the lime and the dark colours, running on exceptionally well. A horse who's had repeated tendon problems. Great race, tremendous result, good performances, very good performances from the first 3.
Simon, we're talking about
Virage to Fortune, kicking back, may have got a nose in front, but the colt, this is a sign of a very good horse and a Group 1 horse in the making. Dug deep and was able to win.
Into very solid red figures now. It's firm 20 cents late. Bookmakers taking their chance now with Cashew. The punters, well, virtually now it's only one. $1.80 about Jumla. That's what's happening on course. Cashew at $3.10. Well,
tendered down on the inside there.
Cashew missed it about a length and a half, and jumping quickly Silver Beat. Jumla, and on the inside Red Platon began fast. Red Platon is going straight. Cashew. Red Pluton from on the outside Silver Beat. Right behind those Jumla, the fence when they turn in. Seneca pulled wide. Stings the widest runner a length further back than Cashew. In the straight, Jumla as they cross down towards the rail. Got up inside Red Platon. On the outside Silver Beat. Two to Cashew and then a gap to Seneca. But Jumla has kicked into the front of the 250 metre mark. Drew a length in front now. The stablemate Red Platon. And on the outside then further back Silver Beats, but Jumla doing it well. Jumla coming away, holding Silver Beat at bay. And Jumla wins a length and 3/4 to Silver Beat, who stayed on well. 2.5 to Red Platon third. Then Seneca Stings. Now something amiss here with Cashew. It's about 15 lengths away.
The colours, good colours. Cap Hero is the tote favourite here at Sandown for the Colts, 230. Look, the betting ring's telling us nothing because they put up about 160%, so the betting ring's just totally irrelevant here, apart from the fact that bookies...
Racing this time, Noble Champion Cap Hero began okay with Mentality. Snort went straight back at the start and got back with Wordsmith when they settled down. Noble Champion from the outside and Cap Hero lead from Mentality. After too much, a fairway back with Snort to the turn and back on the inside Wordsmith. The inside Jet Talk outside of Grand Apollo Noble Champion. The widest runner getting its head a little on the side Cap Hero, but he hasn't let it down yet. Two further back Snort, then up on the inside Wordsmith and Shifty Lad. Cap Hero still under a hold, has hit the front out in the middle. Mentality back in the centre. Grand Apollo fighting on. Then Snort to the outside. He goes for Cap Hero and it kicks in two in front. Snort out wide coming after it quickly. But Cap Hero got a length in front of Snort, dying on its run. Cap Hero too good. Holds Snort on the wire and Cap Hero a neck to Snort, who was terrific second. 4 away third Noble Champion from Mentality. Allier Move followed by Wordsmith. Grand Road Speed.
So I think they were clearly dominant. It would be hard at this level to be enthusiastic about any of those beaten behind them.
Well, we've seen okay. Well, of course, one of the features, the listed Zetative Stakes, terrific lineup of 3-year-olds and a very competitive betting race. Let's have a look at the totes. We'll find that Beldenoro is the tote favourite, but has been
runner at the $9.10 available. TAB wise, tuned up for this with the good trial as you mentioned. One run in.
Well, Dazzler Craig Newitt will ride this horse for Mick Price. Horse won on debut, but he raced on one run there.
He did.
Lester thought that number 3, Belderano, looked best in the yard.
I'm a little bit slow out of the gates, thin and crispy, and he went back on Doomsday after the start. Benson bounced straight to the front here to lead from Beldenoro up second. Then Red Dazzler, the inside, thin and crispy. Anna's Choice, the inside, and 2 lengths to Doomsday. He faces a job from there because they've backed the speed off at the 600 metre mark. Down on the inside, Menson. 3/4 2 on the outside second as they come to the bend. Beldenoro. They're 2 in front of Red Dazzler, the inside Orange County. Then came further back thin and crispy Anna's Choice and Doomsday last of all. Minson in front of Beldenoro, who's trying to lay it down to Minson, who's got a bit of a kick at the 300. Minson's got a length in front of Beldenoro, who's under pressure, and this leader's a good length in front. Then Red Dazzler getting out from thin and crispy. Minson still in front with about 100 to go. Beldenoro, Red Dazzler all trying hard with thin and crispy. He's getting tired, Minson, but he finds the line. Minson's just one on the line from either thin and crispy and Red Dazzler. Beldenoro just off those from Anna's Choice. Race didn't pan out for Doomsday, and he's near the tail with Orange County. Well, that's 4 for 4 for Minson, a much improved little horse.
Minson comes back for the Western Bulldogs supporters, and Des Gleason's one of those.
My word, he isn't.
And he said, double figure odds.
Managing owner of Opportunity at one.
Doomsday, report down from the stewards. Find out more. Left it a good line. Chetwynd South went back after the start, and Kayambi's going back to the rear. Napa Sky bounced out quickly on settling down from the 750 metre mark, and the leader Napa Sky a neck in front of Doubting. 2.5 further back Personal Ensign. On the outside of it is Opportunity. 2 lengths to Chetwynd South, and 3 last of all is Kayambi inside the 600 metre mark, and down on the inside Napa Sky about a half in front as they come to the home turn from Doubting, travelling well. 2 then to Opportunity. Personal Ensign the fence, then Chetwynd South. And last for home is Kayambi, well in the straight, 350 out, and it's Doubting going up to have a crack at Napa Sky. 2 lengths down the outside, Chetwynd South. Personal Ensign under pressure, and here's Kayambi from the back with a big finish. Chetwynd South hit the front now with 150 to go. Kayambi going after it from Doubting, but Chetwynd South is kicking in. She's too good, Chetwynd South. She wins by 3/4. Second Kayambi, 2 away, third Doubting. Then Opportunity, Napa Sky, and pulling up and looking a little short in its action over the line, Personal Ensign, and I did want to get its head up. Bad. Came back to racing on the 13th of January, and she won first up at the Valley.
in the form race. Unfortunately, Opportunity has gone amiss and she'll be retired, pulling up lame, repeat of injury that she suffered before. Let's listen to Craig. Looking back on the Blue Diamond picture, another horse emerged on Friday at Mornington. You'll know the colours, Lee Freedman's colours, or Slade Bloodstock colours, of course.
Not a lingy, is it?
It's not a lingy because it's a 2-year-old. It's a horse called Anhinger, and surprisingly into $11 in some markets for the Blue Diamond. See what you think. We'll come back and have a look at the big Lightning Stakes next Saturday.
Anahinga given full ball, quickly going after the leader, and on straightening up, Anahinga race straight past Gina Lolawitcha. Can she win? Runs to third, but it's another procession here for the favourite. Anahinga is skirted right away, opening up, and she's going to absolutely brain them. Anahinga with a head on her chest wins at 5 lengths to Gina Lolawitcha.
On Wednesday at Sandown. I like Nadeem at this stage by the table. We'll have a talk about Sydney shortly, but have a look at this. Satin Robes here is the horse who starts to buck here in the yellow and blue out wide there. There's Stephen King rides this horse. Now, this horse wins, believe it or not. There he is last in the picture. She's last in the picture. Have a look at this, Steve. This is one of the most remarkable 2-year-old performances of the season, apart from I Got Chills.
It certainly was, and Stephen King literally had to stop riding for probably 30, 40, 50 metres there, and the fillies at the tail of the field. Now, you might question the standard of the opposition, but it wasn't the worst midweeker run so far in Melbourne this season. Even here, she's probably, giving them 6 or 7 lengths, Kenny?
Whatever the opposition, this is still a fabulous performance.
Two reasons she wins, Kenny. I don't know if you've seen this.
Mate, I'm taken by it.
It's just a commanding victory, and Stephen's got them covered here, and just gives a reminder, and that's the end of the section. You're right.
You love that when you're on it, don't you? When you say, oh, I've gone on history, and oh, you little beauty, home you go, girl.
And that was Stephen's reaction when he got off. I was standing there, and you could just tell by his body language and the look on his face, and he turned to the connection and he said, well, that was huge. That
big result for Wrangler Deem, equal favourites from Jumla. So there's David, 1, 2, 3. Rick Lacey's got Snort at $9. Bart's got One for Will. We'll get your opinion there, Kenny. And Hinga, of course, one at Mornington, $11. Dubai's Choice down from Sydney, 13. We'll look at Satin Robe shortly. And the news up at $5.40 on Super Tab, longer here on course by 60 cents. 2 Pine Zero, $6.90. Has been spec'd in the last minute, as Brendan said. 3 Be Delicious at $7.30. That's $2 of value. Money has come for it.
If I held a gun to your head. Jumped in a good line expensively, had no speed out of the gate, and Safari, Sunbeam and Leveller away brilliantly. Landed in front of Be Delicious, Pine Zero for Demas, and further back Pure Joy is last of all at the 850 metre mark, and the 1,000 down to the 12 to the 1,000. It's come up at about 10.66, so they've gone very quick early, and Safari, Sunbeam given a little breather by 2. Leveller is second up to the bend from Be Delicious, getting a good run. For Demas is wide around Pine Zero, expensively the rail. Fanfare's behind them with Pure Joy. They both need runs. In the straight they race 400 out Safari, Sunbeam, a length and a half in front of Be Delicious, followed by in the middle Leveller. Fanfare's a mile off them, and down the outside Pure Joy getting out. Safari, Sunbeam tackled by Be Delicious, expensively the middle then Pure Joy. Safari, Sunbeam is headed by Be Delicious expensively, and Pure Joy is getting home hard down the middle. Be Delicious hit the front, Pure Joy coming at her. Pure Joy moving up to Be Delicious. Pure Joy got a nose in front. Be Delicious fought back on the line. Nothing in this. Heads up and down. Be Delicious and Pure Joy. Expensively may get third. Fanfare's not much luck. Oh, it's Pure Joy a whisker. Yeah, Pure Joy will get it a whisker.
I wish a stable confidence going in against some of these. Four starts for the 1 win.
Yeah, look, you know, she's perhaps heading towards the Cadbury Guineas for John Hawkes. Dan Nicklick doing a lot of riding for the stable now. I'm there, Steve. 121.52. No surprise that they came from back, but what was going on up front here?
I don't know, Bruce. I'll sell us a little scope to go on. Be Delicious had an okay, but I don't think it's necessarily Group 1 form.
Okay, well, the
defeat Be Delicious and expensively.
They went nuts in that race. They went crazy in front. The pace was on, and Pure Joy just sat at the back and rolled home over the top of them. Hard to read that form. I mean, she's obviously talented, Pure Joy, but they did put it on for her.
Yeah, she looks a nice filly to my eye. I think she'll stay and could be an Oaks sort of prospect, sort of.
Stick pin at $2.20 ahead. I've mentioned the $3. I can tell you that the best back here is clearly Stick Pin. No money at all for number 1, Minson. Also in the market, Drafter. You know what Starcraft is.
Line 2. One of the first out is Minson. He ran straight to the front here from Land Gaza, Viva La Convert. And Zagotto up handy, followed further back. 10.45, the 12 down to the 1,000. And he just leads Land Gaza as they come around the top turn. 2 to Stick Pin's had a beautiful run. Red sleeves, red cap. On the fence, Viva La Convert. Convert. Moving up in the red and black, Zagato. Then Stormy Youth. Further back, Bonnie Laird. 1,000 to the 800, 10.61, so it's been on most of the way. As Minson comes for home, a half in front of Langaza. Stick Pin is pushing Zagato out of the way to come into the race. On the fence, Viva La Convert. They got away from Stormy Youth. Pressure on Minson, a half in front of Langaza. Stick Pin is asked to lengthen from Zagato, but Minson got a length in front of Langaza. Stick Pin going back to the inside, and Minson's going boldly at the 150. A length and a quarter in front of Langaza and Zagato. Stick Pin can't go on. It's Minson still in front. Langaza having a late dip, but Stick still in front, and he's got there, Minson. Minson wins it ahead on the line. Langaza second. Third home is Zagato, then Bonnie Laird, Stormy Youth. Stick Pin dropped right out from Viva La Convert, further back Record, and Retaps is last of all. Minson, what a bonny galloper he is. 5 for 5. Number 1.
Brian with, well, I don't think Greg Fry rode the horse, but he's got the colours on. Greg, that must say. He is Minson, named after their ruckman Will, and he wins again, unbeaten from 5 starts, 2.45 out to 5.50. Remarkable, beating Langaza, who was...
Langaza had a great drop on him. That's him running second in the pinky colours there. Stick Pins in the red cap, popped out in enough time.
But what more's Minson got to do to get you? 5 out of 5, makes all the running. If you're having a bet here, $11, $6, $7, $11 and $5.50, and they keep winning.
What about yesterday? $2.40 to $5.50, Minson. I wish I'd been standing in the betting ring. Irrespective of whether you liked him, you had to back him at that quote.
Well, it might be
Minson.
Minson, yeah, look, 5, what is it, 5 from 5? 5 from 5. Yeah. He started off in at Hamilton, lifted his... I mean, every start has been an improvement.
Now, this Michael Hibbs, an offer for $1 million for this horse. Yeah. The owners, most of them are first-time owners. For people interstate, Minson is one of the stars for the Western Bulldogs in the AFL. Oh. They are all Bulldog supporters. They are die-hard Bulldog supporters, and they do not want to sell the horse.
And that's all. I would take the money.
The million?
Yep.
For the gelding?
Yep.
Okay.
It's easy to fall in love with horses. It's easy to... They've all got a value.
Yeah,
got me too.
We've all that. One Lightning Stakes is the highlight of racing around Australia today. Horses in the mounting yard. There's Cape of Good Hope, the defending champion for the Global Sprint Challenge, and he's back to defend his title. There he is. There, the Tates. Proprietor, $31.90. That's bang on what's happening. Down to 5 Stratum at $9, exactly what's happening in the ring. God's Own opened up $6.50. Half of their offering yesterday, $8.10 the tote is about right now. 9 Jet Spur at $8.50 also has these 2 points. 10 Media, $14, $3 of value. 11 Queen of the Hill, tote favourite with takeover target at $5.70, longer on course by a point in the bit. And 12 Rewaya at $7.90.
It's hard to imagine that the new market can be any better than the Lightning, but it could well be. Only time will tell.
Racing in the Lightning, Cape of Good Hope and Stratum bounds quickly with Proprietor and Rewire. Queen of the Hill away okay. Takeover Target burning up in the centre, looking up towards the lead. God's Own behind it, followed by Media, Jet Spur, Schnitzel, and undoubtedly, and they all go to the flat side. And Stratum has headed them off to lead with Takeover Target quickly moving up at his girth. They're followed by Rewire. Inside Proprietor is over racing from Cape of Good Hope. Further out, Queen of the Hill. Wider out, Schnitzel, a length God's Own. Then Media, Jet Spur, and undoubtedly the widest runner. Coming onto the course proper at the 650. Stratum just in front. Takeover Target about to join it. Rewire back on the fence. Cape of Good Hope is held up. Then Queen of the Hill, followed by God's Own. Schnitzel coming down the centre, and Jet Spur is running on. It's Takeover Target getting to the front from Stratum and Rewire. 2 lengths Schnitzel. In the middle is God's Own starting to come hard. And wider out Jet Spur. Takeover Target in front. God's Own, Cape of Good Hope after it. But Takeover Target. Takeover Target a half neck to God's Own. Third home is Cape of Good Hope from Rewire. Then Stratum further back in the race. Schnitzel, Proprietor, Queen of the Hill. Jet Spur didn't finish off, followed by Media, and near the back is Undoubtedly.
Overconfident, but I was fairly confident, yes.
Well, someone was confident because it was $5.50 into $4.20 and he responded.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my money.
Joe, obviously, Takeover Target, and there he is, stalling off a brilliant God's Own, and Cape of Good Hope, the defending champ in the Global Sprint Challenge. He's off to do battle again. What a marvellous traveller he is as well.
Got to dip your lid to Takeover. He'd brain them. They wouldn't see which way he went.
Great performance, and sensationally backed here. $5.50 into $4.20. 4.20. Tote punters get $4.40 and $2.
Target earns $300,000 for his win today, and he tops the $1 million mark. He had $932,000 coming into the race.
The other day it was a strong race, and it was good to see him prevail.
How would you like to be aboard this fellow if you can tackle the rest of the world?
I'd love to. I'll carry the luggage if I have to.
All right, good luck, Jay Ford. Congratulations, Jay. Wonderful moment.
7 at Flemington. Number 2, Takeover Target. Jay Ford for Joe Janiak. $4.40 and $2. Second, number 6, God's Own, $3.
Recorded tremendous Lightning Stakes Group 1 sprint race. I can't remember a Group 1 sprint where there were 7 or 8 legitimate winning chances. Although, having said that, the proverbial jump out of trees to back the winner, Takeover Target. It was the only one they wanted.
It was 5 in there yesterday, taking out the Group 1 Lightning Stakes for Jay Ford and Joe Janiak, heading off towards the Newmarket and then heading off to Ascot. Imagine Joe at Royal Ascot. God's Own, brilliant second. Cape of Good Hope, remarkable third. Riwaya, terrific fourth. Simon, your overview of the race. We'll come back and talk to the jockeys shortly.
Oh, it was fantastic to watch Takeover Target. Just gallop free out in front. And he was just galloping within his own esteem and was always...
Of the Lightning?
Well, why wouldn't you go to Ascot, Bruce? Schwarzschier, Cape of Good Hope won the Golden Jubilee there last year. And Takeover Target, 10 wins from 16 starts. He was too good for them yesterday.
I'm sure Jay Ford...
Terrific race today. I thought I had him covered inside the clock tower here. The last 50, he might have just peaked a little bit, but it's going to take a very good horse to beat him from now on in.
Yeah, he ran a solid race. He always does. He's a great campaigner. He probably was a bit flattered because he had the inside run, but he did get held up for a while. Having said that, he does enjoy to run at them, so there weren't any hard luck stories. But all in all, it was a great effort, and I'm looking forward to coming back to Moonee Valley.
Yeah, right. She ran a super race. Any luck, she would have won. She just got jammed on the fence. Barrier 1 was the wrong barrier for us today, but she showed plenty of muscle, boxed her way through, but just wasn't quite good enough to get back to. And get the winner.
Yes, probably drawn up the wrong side of the track today.
It's just a race where the form's going to be terrific.
Very much so, Bruce. You'd be very surprised in the next few weeks if lots of winners don't emerge from this race. God's Own, Bart Cummings saying, this is a very special horse. Well, that's a huge rap from Bart Cummings. And that's, of course, God's Own in the black and white checkered cap, just coming between horses now. And Simon, what did you think? He found the line as well as you'd hope?
Well, he was last joining the course proper coming out of the chute, and he raced up in between Media and then outside Queen of the Hill. And he got a lovely run.
Target, we haven't spoken much of him. He clearly is Australia's best sprinter. His ratings are terrific. He's the one, he's the benchmark.
Tell you, we talk about Joe Janiak. He drives a taxi and he lived in a caravan in Queanbeyan, but folks, he's had so many problems. He's been plagued with so many problems. Takeover Target. He went amiss until he came back and won those 2 races in Queensland. Then he freshened him up for 6 weeks to get him ready for this race. Outstanding training performance.
Steve. Blue Diamond Prelude, and here a very interesting move for a first starter in 14 Medusa. Let's have a look at the totes before we go through the mounting yards. Jumla 390, that matches up well with what's happening on course. 720 the Deems Glow, you can get 30 cents better. 620 about Satin Robes, that's bang on. $12 and 8 and on the tote. And Hinga, $9.20, that's $2 of value. Sweet Valentina.
These two might have been a key to it a bit. The filly of Smerdon's won very easily at the Valley.
Racing. Jumla bounced quickly down on the inside. Sweet Valentina began quickly with Global Start and Nadim's Glow. Behind those, Lady Hannah when they settled down. Anhinga from the outside, and also travelling forward is Miss Witness. Sorting themselves out. Miss Witness right out in the centre of the track. Coming over pretty quickly, has got to the front now. Turn well back out of its ground, Medusa. They're followed further back by Punch-A-Lot. And last of all is My Only Hope. On the turn, Miss Witness just in front of Anhinga. A length and a half, then Jumla being niggled at. Further back than Nadim's Glow. Followed the inside Lady Hannah. Satin Robes coming down the centre with a big finish. It's flying home. And Hinga hit the front. Satin Robes are starting to wear it down on the outside. They're followed by Nadim's Glow. They're the chances. Satin Robes and Nadim's Glow hit the front together. Nadim's Glow and Satin Robes. Satin Robes, Nadim's Glow. Nadim's Glow fights back, wins it. A short head Satin Robes, third and Hinga. A gap then My Only Hope, followed by Suspended Time, Global Start. Jumla didn't go on for the turn. Then a gap to... Well, good fighting win by Nadim's Glow, number 2.
It is down. Nadim's Glow gets the prize. Steve Moran's the best bet of the day. Well done again, Steve. Cashed up beautifully. And we've come up to the Colts division now. Let's have a look at the totes here. Yesterday on Nadim's Glow for Matty Ellerton beating Satin Robes, it was good. And Hinga on pace. My Only Hope was very good. The problem here for David Moody, the owner of Nadim's Glow, is will he pay the $55,000 late fee to run in the Blue Diamond in a fortnight? Well, Nadim's Glow.
Well, the times were almost identical between the fillies and the colts yesterday. The first 3 have gapped
the next four who finished in a bunch, and clearly the best performance of that four was My Only Hope, who came from last. But I think the performances of the first two there are pretty good, and that form will stack up as Matt Allen.
One from 20 to 1 here in new ownership today as well, and it's tab number 8, Dan Ever. Won the Deem, $5.70, shorter on course, about it. $1.30 shorter. 6.10 Cap Hero's about right. $9.80 about Gates right. Wonderful World is value at $6.30. Obviously, it's the shortener. Dan Ever. You'd like to get the Super Tab, $45.40. It's a quarter of that here on course. Opened 20 to 1 into 12 to 1 here on course. Dan Ever. Big move. New ownership today. Horse that's had 1 star previously. $19.20, $2 shorter.
Wayne, what are you expecting from Gate today?
Oh, I think you'll hit the line strong, Keith.
Good on you. Well, there's a bit of a...
After the start.
Good on you. Well, there's a bit of a...
After the start. One of the first away is Accurate Gun, with Dua Sasso going quickly up outside it. Further out, Dubai's Choice. Got to have Hart and Bingham last of all. Accurate Gun just led Dua Sasso a length and a half further back. Dubai's Choice followed back in the middle as they come to the home turn by Cup Hero. The fences Garland followed by Wonderful World, a fair way back. So's Nadeem turning from Gate the rail. Tipung Woody pulled out wide from Deneva. Then Bingham, but in the straight, and Dua Sasso kicked to the front. Race 3 lengths in front now of Cap Hero. Then on the outside, Dubai's Choice from Swingin' Bachelor. Duo Sasso at the 100-metre mark, 3 lengths in front. Wonderful World from a mile back, but Duo Sasso is going to canter home and wins 2 or 3 lengths. Wonderful World second. Third is Swinging Bachelor, then Nadeem and Snort ran on out wide. Capero dropped off from Gate. Further back in the race then came Dubai's Choice, followed by Deneva, well back Accurate Gun, Galen. Well out of it was Tipung Woody, never a chance with Bingham, and Got to Have Heart near the tail. Dua Sasso, number 13, Nashra Willa, has good at Ballarat. E-Racing Syndicate, the manager B. Rowett. And into 29.70 and 6.80. Wonderful World and Eyecatcher second, 2.20.
Phil Smith, his first runner in a Blue Diamond, beating Wonderful World, who was very good. So too Swinging Bachelor. Steve, Brian Mayfield-Smith, great trainer, as you know. He's likened this colt to his good filly Innovation Girl, and much to like about the performance at Ballarat.
Yes, very much so. Beat a horse called Ready, who then went to Flemington and ran second to Nadeem's Glow. So again, we're getting a fairly tight comparison between these colts and fillies. Ran marginally slower early yesterday, so got a pretty comfortable lead, but you had to like the turn of foot, and at the end of the day, we're talking about a Blue Diamond. It's a 1,200-metre sprint. Probably better to be sitting on the speed and rolling, Simon, than sitting at the tail.
That's going to Brian. Yeah, surely it looks like 3, 5 and 8, and Prince Joshua's rider dislodged as the gates opened. Group 1 CF4 Stakes, horses in the mounting yard. Jockey's about to mount up. Favourite clearly is 5, Lad of the Manor, $2.70 on Super Tab. A touch better here on course. They're on screen prices, $19.60 about Fields of Omar, $3 shorter in the ring. Bomber Bill has fans on the tape, none in the betting. Our Smoke and Joe, $18.50 is $7 of value. 10 Casual Pass, that's about right, $7.30. No interest in Great is Great. Zankel, Perfect Promise, rock solid in the ring, $16.50, therefore is $5 of value. And Doomsday.
Cracker in the car line, and I think living.
The Fields of Omar.
8 horses, 1 to 8 are all Group 1 winners, as is number 10 Casual Pass. Line is good, they're racing this time. Left at a very good line. One of the first out near the inside here was Pearl and Fields of Omar, but there goes Regal Roller, and also Early Express up towards the front, and Live in Vain coming over quickly, settling down. Regal Roller's going to lead from Live in Vain. Early Express is easing back now, third, 2 lengths further back, Fields Day, and last of all coming down the side, Yuma Quest, cracking speed, Live in Vain and Regal Roller. They've gone out about 8 lengths in front of Early Express, a length into Fields of Omar. Inside it then Pearl and 3 deep, Lad of the Manor, 2 to Valedictum. A length further back, Greatest Great up to the turn, followed by Perfect Promise. Then Zankel, Roman Arch and Wellbeck as Our Smoke and Joe and Bomber Bill. On the bend, Regal Roller, Live in Vain. They've had a war in front. 5 lengths in front now of starting to run on now as Lad of the Manor. Around Early Express, Pearl dropped off. Then Fields of Omar and Valedictum. Regal Roller gone, Live in Vain hit the front. But here on the outside, Lad of the Manor coming quickly, followed by Fields of Omar. Then came down the outside, Perfect Promise. It's Lad of the Manor in front, Fields of Omar and Perfect Promise out out wide with Valedictum, and back to the inside. Great is Great. Ladder the Manor grabbed by Perfect Promise, and Perfect Promise will get up and beat Ladder the Manor. Fields has got up to run third. They're followed by Valedictum, then Great is Great, Casual Pass, Yuma Quest, Doomsday behind those, followed by Roman Arch. Further back in the race, then Valedictum pulled up quickly after the line from Zankel. Live in Vain dropped off, so did Perlin. Well back Early Express, Our Smoke and Joe, and last of the bunch would have been the old-timer Bomber Bill, and Regal Roller has tailed off. Perfect Promise, number 15 out wide, has beaten Ladder the Manor and Fields of Omar third in 1:22.36. Craig knew it at Group 1 level. This is the one he wanted, and he's got a big kick out of it, Craig. Well done with Lee Freeman. Look, Craig's been through a lot, and I've been through a lot with him, just to be honest with you, but I'm so pleased that he's been able to do it with Lee Freeman to chalk up this win. He deserves a lot of what he went through as well, Craig Newitt, no doubt about it, but he is a gun jockey, and to get his first... And look at the young Craig Newitt as he wins his first Group 1 for his old boss, Lee Freeman, on Perfect Promise. First start for Lee, great training performance there too, beating Ladder the Manor, brave as expected. He was the favourite, he ran well. What about Fields of Omar? A marvel he is. Going to be a terrific form reference race, and I think after the race, though, the most important story.
It's been exceptional, and to get the first Group 1 under the belt, it's a big relief.
To do it for Lee Freeman also a special moment.
Yeah, it was a pretty special moment. I mean, we sort of went our different ways a few years ago, and thankfully today we was lucky enough to pick the ride up. And
OK, let's work through these. Futurity.
And the 3-week break will probably be good for her. You know, her fresh is very, very good.
Our Smoking Joe, satisfied?
Yeah, more than happy with him. He was probably only a length and a half off her straightening up and couldn't sort of match her for turn of foot. But, you know, Joe's more and more showing that he's a real stayer. And I thought his last 200 metres of the race was excellent. And he's ready for the step up in distance.
I'm just looking at him now, finishing off the race. And California Dania scratch. Any chance that we'll see this horse in the Australia Stakes, or you're leaning towards the paddock?
I'm sort of leaning to giving him a break, Bruce, and you know, heading north up through Sydney to Brisbane. But I'd
to talk to both Mark Flaherty and Luke Nolan, who rode Regal Roller and Live in Vain. Regal Roller's pulled up lame, Live in Vain's pulled up tired.
I'm not surprised. It was the war of the oar. 46.7 first 800. Suicidal. They ran 2 seconds quicker than the 3-year-olds for the first 800. And they had to, here's Live in Vain, probably having the temerity still to be boxing on at this point. I mean, that's ridiculously quick. Lad of the Manor, as Greg Childs said, of course, in the green cap, did the chasing up to the 2 tearaway leaders. Perfect Promise getting to the outside now. A lot of good runs in the race. I think, 16 runners, 14 trainers would have gone home happy.
Yeah. With Early Express back on the...
Who owned Regal Roller. He has been retired, and I'd like to wish them all the best. He's going out to a paddock now where they can spend 0.5 million.
It isn't between 1 and 10, with 10 the top pick at the moment. It certainly is. Number 1, Stratz Flyer, 360, spot on. Absolutely fabulous. 350, only a flick of the coin longer on track. Mate of Antrim, $39.
Starters about to release them. They're off and racing. And Love You, Leo and Cara Lee were the best 2 into stride. Cara Lee will take the lead. Stout Fasters going forward along the inside. And out wide, Boncour and very wide into that first bend. And Absolutely Fabulous is back in the second half of the field. Yanina is back on the rail. And last of all is Up and Doing. At the 600 metres, it's Boncour finding the lead. It's an advance here as they come up towards the turn of Cara Lee on the outside of German. And Mate of Antrim is striding up to make a line of 4. Then came Stout Fast, and further back behind them it's Logic, a German, Love You Leo, and Strathflyer down the outside with Absolutely Fabulous, and Grammatical didn't get around the turn. As they get to the 200, it's Boncour on the inside and Mate of Antrim. Absolutely Fabulous and Love You Leo are running on, and Cara Lee down the inside, but it's Absolutely Fabulous storming to the lead now with 100 to go, and Absolutely Fabulous is running away from Lovely Leo. Absolutely Fabulous beat Love You Leo. Boncour, I'd say, may have just lasted for third in front of Up and Doing, which came from last, and then in behind those horses next.
Please. Good ride by Danny Beasley. They all wanted to be up front today. They went like mad trying to lead. He just
English yearling purchase, a filly, Absolutely Fabulous, wins for Chris Lees, wins a big prize, beating Love You Leo and Chris's other runner, Bond.
I think these are the second-tier 2-year-olds. I don't want to be harsh. The winner, I think, will be the best horse to come out of the race for sure. But like it's a boon to owners buying horses at the classic yearling sales. And don't forget, like people think they're the second-tier sales. In recent years, you've been able to buy Silent Witness, Schwazier and God's Own at the Classic Yearling Sales.
Kenny, I've got to say Chris Lee.
Parramatta Expressway Stakes. It's Group 2, 1,200 metres. I think it's an absolute crackerjack field. And Richard, the favourite is Shania Dane, just ahead of that good mare, Aqua d'Amore. She's been well backtracked. Number 9, the favourite, Shania Dane, $4.40, a half point shorter of the bookies. And the bottom on Primus, the 3-year-old, $4.90 is comparable.
Hopefully Gay's horse might give us a card across, and who knows, hope for luck.
2 good chances, good luck.
Thanks, Richard.
Peter Snowden, Johnny Hawkes' right-hand man.
They're about to jump in the expressway and they're off and racing. Missing the start was Spirit of Tara, Shania Dane and Mind Reader jumped out very quickly. Courts in Session is making his way across. Four Valor's going up on the inside. Primus slots into a nice spot in 5th position. Long goes up to attack him for the lead now as they link onto the course proper. Behind them is Four Valor. Shania Dane was next and 2 lengths to Primus running 5th. He moves away now from Lord of the Land and then Uber. 3 lengths to Aqua d'Amore. She's hard at work. Eramine likewise from Charmview. And then Taraga and Spirit of Tara coming around the turn. It's Courts in Session. He's been worried by Mind Reader all the way. Shania Dane is now starting to come after him and Primus is getting on her back, and further back was Four Valor and then Lord of the Land. Courts in Session put its head in front. Shania Dane and Primus are trying to read Courts in Session. The little bulldog is fighting on strongly on the inside from Shania Dane and Primus. It's Shania Dane coming at Courts in Session. Courts in Session is fighting bravely and he does it again. Courts in Session wins it from Shania Dane. Primus got 3rd from Aqua d'Amore and then Four Valor. Further back behind them next Mind Reader, Eramine, Lord of the Land, Spirit of Tara, and then came Uber, Taraga, and last in was Charmview.
There might be better horses that have gone around Sydney racetracks, but I don't think there's been gamer ones. He refuses to give in. Mind Reader took him. She was never travelled. By gee, we're going to get a big cheer when he comes back to scale here at Rosehill.
Box plate straight after the race, as you normally do after you win a good race. Shania Dane 2nd, Primus very good 3rd. Hopefully we'll see him in Melbourne. He's a good horse, Kenny. He makes his own luck. He's there to be shot at. Sometimes he gets hammered, but yesterday he was tough as usual.
Yeah, and as Danny Beasley said, you roll the sleeves up, put the gloves on him, and he beats you.
Well, well, listen to Danny first and come back and get you.
Can we reminisce, Kenny, and go back to the great Cyril Small and Vo Rogue? Is he going to be if he's going to be a weight for age contender, he's going to have to run similar races to the great Vo Rogue.
I think he's in that league. He's already a Group 1 winner. He won the Ryder Stakes. I think he'll get a mile comfortably. Well, he can get a mile comfortably. He should have won in Doncaster, wasn't it?
Yeah.
My opinion is he'll have no trouble with 2,000 metres.
His only worry is when he steps up to the 16 and maybe even the 2,000 is horses taking him on.
Won't worry, mate. They'll burn themselves into the ground by taking him on. They've been trying that in Sydney for a while, and they've finished in the pits, and he's still winning top-class races.
And Primus, very good weight for age first up yesterday.
Yeah, good run. Had his chance, but he's a good 3-year-old. I think there's better.
How good is it to...
And they are about to move up. Darcy Brahma dominates that market at $1.30. So let's head to our team in New Zealand. Race
3 or 4 horsewoods. Here's George Simon, the feature, the Waikato Sprint.
So the field almost set, just waiting on Mr. Open. They're off in the Waikato Draft Sprint. Darcy Brahma began quickly, but has been eased back by Walker in the early stages. Munton and Christoph show out in the early stages, followed out by Mr. to go in the Waikato Draft Sprint Group 1. And it's Christoph now. He's turning up the wick out in front. He leads by 3. Munton is second. 2.5 G.I. Jane. Then Mr. Multi-Win. Darcy Brahma's off the rail. He's improving between runners. He's spotting this leader, Christoph. 7 lengths as they come to the turn. He's gone for the goal on Christoph around the corner, and they hit for home. 450 out. Christoph by 5 lengths. Can they pick him up? Munton second. Darcy Brahma's out into the centre and he's winding up, but they've still got to go to get to Christoph. Darcy still 3 lengths away. Then Munton from G.I. Jane. Christoph in front. Is this his Group 1 win? Here coming after him now, Darcy Brahma. Christoph in front. Darcy's flying, but they won't pick up Christoph. What a win! Christoph and Jason Waddell. Yes, you beauty. He's got the prize in the Group 1 Waikato Draft Sprint. Brilliant win, brilliant ride. Second over, and thoroughly deserved. Second over either Darcy Brahma, G.I. Jane storming home late to figure in the photo. Then Munton, Mr. Multi-Win, followed by Designer and Sadekram will be the last one home. In the Waikato Draft Sprint, there wouldn't be a soul in New Zealand that would begrudge this horse his Group 1 win. Christoph. Jason Waddell. Doesn't he love Group 1 races? What a Absolutely special moment for Philip Stevens and the rest of the team who raced Mr. Consistency, as he's known here in NZ. And Christoph, he caught them all now.
Third place, 6-1 and 8 your numbers there. We'll come back and get the full dividends shortly. Alistair Clark Stakes comes up at Moonee Valley Race 4, sponsored by a Top Cut. This year, well, it's a good competitive betting race nonetheless, and let's work through them. They're on the totes. Langaza 490 is about right.
You don't know, when you before you come to Moonee Valley, but he was here the other night and did everything right, and had a little bit of a sweat up before the...
Left in a good line too. Langaza and Stormy Youth bounce quickly with Baldonoro. Bonnie Laird is tucking in behind them. Spinney coming over, but getting in behind them now, and Free the Robber is last of all as Baldonoro heads off Langaza and goes to the front too for the Stormy Youth. Looks to be in trouble, the rider, the horse hanging badly off the track, and Spinney is back at the tail. Up the side of the 650, Baldonoro a half in front of Langaza, two then to Free the Robber, Bonnie Laird. Stormy Youth, that rider still in difficulty. Spinney getting past it, giving the leaders 4-length start at the 500 metre mark, and Langaza goes up to Baldonoro, who's hard at it on the fence, two to Bonnie Laird, then Free the Robber, and Spinney is now pulling out, and Stormy Youth pulled up out of the race. Langaza got its head in front of Baldonoro. 2 lengths to Spinney, coming with a run on the outside. He's going after the leader. Langaza straightens, 2 lengths to Spinney down the outside when they turn for home. Langaza in front, but Spinney is winding up on the outside. Spinney going up to Langaza, 100 to go. Spinney gets his head in front of Langaza, who's fighting back. Spinney too strong on the line. Spinney wins it a neck on the line to Langaza. 2 to Bonnie Laird third. Then Baldonoro, followed by Free the Robber. And steering problems here for this one, just going over the line. That's Stormy Youth. Craig knew it was... Well, he has stepped up to that next level, Group 2. Spinney, number 6. Number 6, Spinney. And he's only had his 5th start today for his 4th win, so he's only suffered 1 defeat, and that's what Reddy ran 3rd in the size produce to Izanami.
Steve?
Yes, Bruce. I think he's a legitimately good horse. His form was frank to some degree the day before at Flemington when Sacred Grail won. He ran fast time yesterday. I think he's a legitimately good horse.
Let's see what Darren Beedman thinks. I reckon this was the best win of the day. Candyvale, terrific 3 wide. Peter Mertens bouncing back from defeat as an odds-on favourite at Flemington. Had no lucky yesterday, but he had the right cattle, and this is a good mare in Candyvale.
The inside, Candyvale, Holly Bounty second. Sorenstam up a little closer today, 3rd. 4th, the outside Plans. 5th is Celtic Bloom. Candyvale caught 3 deep around the outside of Go Ruby Go from Rulin Ruby. Candyvale going back now, and back inside it is Demerger. Still 3 deep. 2 further back then Rulin Ruby. Candyvale hasn't had much luck. It's 3 deep on the outside of Demerger last of all. At the 800 metre turn off the back, and the leader Idria, a length and a half Holly Bounty, a length Sorenstam. 1 further back is Plans running 4th. 2 then to Celtic Bloom from Go Ruby Go. Candyvale followed by Rulin Ruby. Last Demerger at the 600 metre mark. Idria a half in front. On the outside a little closer now is Holly Bounty. 2 to Sorenstam. Plans on the outside of it. Candyvale has to keep going, but she's out 4 deep. Trying to get a tack up behind her to Merger. Celtic Bloom back on the inside. On the bend they race now, and Holly Bounty goes to Idria. Plans 3 deep, and Candyvale, she's still out wide, but she's coming at them. 3 further back to Merger and Sorenstam. Candyvale's taken the lead in the straight now. Battling on his Plans. They're clear of Sorenstam and Celtic Bloom. Candyvale in front. Coming back as Plans, and on the inside Holly Bounty. Candyvale just in front, and Candyvale wins it a nose. Plans. Great win. 3rd home on the inside Holly Bounty. Then Celtic Bloom from Sorenstam.
Well, trainer Pat Carey was left with this horse when Kathy Hughes decided to go to Darwin. Not a bad little present, is it? Candyvale blobbing in your stable. She was only one of 2 horses to break 12 for the last furlong. The other was in the 1,000 metre race, the last Wish Trish. After being 3 wide, that shows the merit of this performance.
Absolutely, tremendous effort. Again, another gear change horse, tongue-tie first time yesterday. Outstanding run. They didn't go particularly hard early. A good strider. She had room. He just let her slide into the race. And I think yesterday's performance stamped the fact that she is a very good mare. I think the jury was probably... Everybody's wrapped her, and including myself, but she had to do something like she did yesterday to confirm that rating.
Well, let's hear from Peter that Pat Carey is going to seriously consider the Australian Cup for this mare, Candyvale. She's $21 in the current markets.
Thanks, Roy. Philly's getting ready. Coming into line. Group 2 race. This time, And they jumped out in a nice line too. Be Delicious won at first to hit the ground. Passagatera going quickly with Pine Zero expensively, Pure Harmony, and further back in the race then Doubting. The inside of it Looming and Pure Joy on the outside of those. On the first turn, up this a half in front. Pine Zero second, 2 lengths further back then Passagatera. Outside at Pure Harmony, 2 then to Pure Joy. Doubting in the middle, the fence expensively, and 2 to Looming last of all. 600 out, and the speed starting to crank up now. Pine Zero going up now to Be Delicious, and the race is right on. Pure Harmony further out. Pure Joy coming wide behind those Passagatera. Further back then came Doubting, followed by Expensively. On the turn, Be Delicious tackled by Pine Zero. Pure Harmony 3 out. Pure Joy is 4 out, but under pressure. Then Passagatera Looming from the back with Doubting, but Pure Harmony hit the front on the straight now at 150. Drew away from Pine Zero. Then came on the outside Pure Joy. Passagatera getting out, but Pure Harmony goes for home, and she's got it. It's Pure Harmony by 2 lengths to Pine Zero, and neck third Passagatera. Then a gap to Pure Joy, Looming, Doubting, a gap then to Be Delicious, and last of all is Expensively. Group 2 race going to Pure Harmony, number 7.
Or at Noel Callow, and you get 14.10 and 280 for the first leg of the quaddie here. Favourite Pure Joy at the back, and the sprint home wasn't. Australia Stakes at Moonee Valley. It's an open betting race. Favourite in the ring is Rewaya. A few of these, Shane, have gone for a bath in betting. Glamour Puss, Unwanted, eased $3, and Paratroopers has eased $1.50 there. The totes on screen. 19.90 all bar one, that's about right. 12.10 under's about undue. 4.90 Glamour Puss, $3 longer on course. Down to Stratum, it's value, $12.10, 3.5 points shorter. Paratroopers, $5.60. Been cleared to start. We'll talk more about it in a minute. $1 longer on course. Jetspur, $9.70. It's $1.50 of value. Perfectly Ready. Mick Price gives a push there, $21.30, $4 shorter on course. Over to Zeno Goshu, well, $139. You're taking way unders if you're brave enough to back it. 8.10 Mirage de Fortune. Now, there is good value, $3 shorter on course. Rewaya value at $4.80. It's the favourite, $4 on course. And Chetwynd South, rock solid in the ring. Talk to Des Gleeson, but
the complication here.
Yeah, number 6 Paratroopers is out on vet's advice. We told you leading up to this race, the horse
just told us it's got a blood discharge from one nostril, Bruce. So a blood discharge behind the gates from one nostril. Racing. Left in a good line too. One of the first out, the Flying Filly Virage to Fortune from the outside. She bounced in front. All bar one is starting to push up in the centre to try and keep her off the rail, and does now. Rewaya quickly got up behind them, and they're on the outside of it, Stratum. They're followed by Jetspur, and further back in the race when they settle down, Glamour Puss. In behind those Undue from Perfectly Ready, 2 or 3 further back in the race, and Chetwynd South. They're followed 3 lengths then to Brenda Bella as they come up the side. Zenagoshi last of all. It's all bar one leading to Raj to Fortune second, and Stratum went up 3 deep third. Rewaya fourth the fence. They're followed by Jetspur. Glamour Puss moving up 3 deep. 2 to Chetwynd South. Further back then over on the inside, Undue from Perfectly Ready. A gap to Brenda Bella and tailed off Zenagoshu. All bar 1.5 in front. Virage to Fortune looming to it quickly, and the filly Virage to Fortune's gone up to all bar 1. They've got 2 lengths. Rewaya getting into the clear. Then Undue, and further back in the race, Glamour Puss. Virage to Fortune hit the lead, turning from all bar 1. 2 lengths Rewaya down the centre, running on. Virage to Fortune got a length in front. Rewaya starting to pick it back. Virage to Fortune still in front of Rewaya, and all bar 1, and Virage to Fortune has scored. 3/4 to Rewaya. Thirds either all bar 1, Undue and Glamour Puss out wider. Then a gap to Chetwynd South, Perfectly Ready, Brenda Bella. A gap to Stratum, a long way back then to Jetspur. Over on the inside, Zenogoshu, one of the last to pull up. Virage to Fortune, a brilliant winner, number 10. As we saw behind California Dane. How hot is that form? The California Dane form just continues to stand up, but the spotlight is all with Virage to Fortune. She has been sensational, Bruce.
She did. Bruce had said that she'd been working tremendous all week, and she showed that on the track today, how she had been working first rate. Yeah, she flew the gate. And I was going to the...
Well, she became the 6th 3-year-old filly in the past 13 years to win the Australia Stakes. Virage de Fortune for Greg Childs, beating the favourite Rewaya, 3-year-old filly. And the Darwin Discovery, Undue, a brave third. Greg Childs, victorious yesterday again on Virage de Fortune. Of course, he misses it on Virage de Fortune. Of course, he misses it.
We're a bit unlucky. We ran into California Dane here the other day, and we just knew how good she was. For her to do that has been fantastic. I mean, she just won so well. It was a great thrill indeed.
You've been around racing a long time, so where does this rank for you?
Look, it's right up there. She won her first Group 1 race in Queensland where I'm from, but to treat this field like this is just unbelievable. We're very happy, and all credit to Bruce McLaughlin and his team. They're just fantastic.
Never seen a bookmaker so happy to see a well-tried runner get home at Moonee Valley. Steve, it was a great performance, not unexpected in any way by this filly.
No, certainly not, particularly given her record at Moonee Valley, which is brilliant. Michael Sullivan said on Friday he was going to lay her at the price that she was. He may well have done. But terrific effort. As it turned out, they didn't go quite as spectacularly hard early as we imagined. 35-2 first 600, which was in fact slower than the opening race.
Let's go and hear from the beat.
She run super, had a characteristic.
Well, I can tell you the news on Jetspur this morning is that the horse has been retired. The horse's bowed tendon. Surprisingly, the stewards report says it was vetted after the race and no abnormality was detected. It's a pretty serious one. He's bowed tendon. He's been retired. John O'Shea telling us that this morning. So that explains the performance of this morning. So that explains the performance of Jetspur. Simon, great tactical role.
Race the Frederick Clissold. It's a group sprint. Bit of a plonk in the race. It certainly is. Flaming from the Gay Waterhouse stable, a gelding by Beautiful Crown. And Kenny, it's an old saying that you use a lot. He's a winner. He's won 6 from 9. Yep, it's a good record, and she's a bit of a winner. Candy Vale, she's won 6 from 12. Not a bad record. Let's have a look at these totes for the Frederick Clissold to be run here at Randwick. Number 1, Pateza, $5.10, 2.5 points shorter on track, longer on track. So 5.10 is skinny. Mark Calais, $4.70, spot on. $3.20 Flaming. That's about where they bet. It's a half point shorter than that now on track. There they certainly are Flaming. $3 in the TAB. You can't get that. Almost a half. 3/4 of a point. 5
to go in the sprint. And they're away. Utzon jumped well from the inside stall, but he's going to ease back and look for a trail, and Domingos and Kaleta going forward. Fawadi's not all that far away. The favourite Flaming will settle down in about 5th spot, and he's 3 wide. 4 Vella's gone up, and the Agent Steel was next, and Pateza, he'll have to do something sensational the way this race has been run. He's back last of all, 8 off the lead. It's Domingos in front of Kalate being niggled at. 4 Vella's on the outside. Flaming is coming up 4 deep. Utzon back on the rail, needs a run, and then Fawadi and Kiss My Fuji. Kalate on the outside's taken the lead now from Domingos. Utzon is coming across heels and getting into the clear. Flaming's not doing enough, but Kalate let down at the 200, zipped away. Utzon's out after him on the outside. It's Kalate the leader by a half on Utzon, and he's back to his best today, Kalate. He'll hang on and win it from Utzon. Domingos got 3rd from Kiss My Fuji, and then Batestain and Cajun Steel, 4 Valor and Flaming Fawadi, and Pateza was back last of all.
Yeah, that's another $21.10, the exacta $41.60, the trifecta $300. We've got the best 3-year-old filly in Australia in Nemesis, and she's favourite, but with only a 30-cent call over Regal Cheer, and that was her. Well, there she was, just walking down. She's going to be vulnerable as probably today, isn't it? Number 1 Nemesis, $2, half point longer on track. Carry On Cutie, $12.30. Number 7 Street Smart, $32.80, 50 points longer with the bookmakers. 8 and 9 are both out. Number 10, Paulini, $23 is quality. Totes before we call Mark Sheep.
Racing, Nemesis jumped on turns with them, will drift back shortly after the jump, and Regal Cheer has taken up the running from Cision shortly after the jump, and Mimi Day going up on the inside. Fabiana pressing on out wide from Paulini, and Carry On Cutie is driving forward as well. But Nemesis back on the inside of Street Smart, and Beauty Watchers last of all, 8 off the lead. It's Fabiana on top at the 500, leads from in 2nd spot Carry On Cutie. He's edging up 3 wide now on Regal Cheer. It's making ground strongly, and then came Mimi Day, followed by Paulini. Nemesis is back on the inside, and it's locked away at the moment as Regal Cheer takes over, and Regal Cheer let loose by De Montfort as kick clear. Fabiana was next, and Street Smart is coming right down the outside. Nemesis back on the inside. It's Regal Cheer in front, but Street Smart, which was backed at long odds in the betting, it's run up to hit the front now, and this is going to land a plonk at longer odds. Street Smart wins it from Regal Cheer. Paulini got 3rd, and then Nemesis looked to have every chance from Mimi Day. Beauty Watch was next from Cision, Fabiana, and Carry On Cutie. It's run a shocker and finished last.
Well, what about that? What about that? They bet $91 on course Street Smart, and it come into about $51. Trained by Ronnie Maund at Toowoomba. This filly by Lion Hunter. Kenny Turner would be laughing his head off in Queensland. And $61.90. The Exacta, $210.60. The Trifecta, nice to have
I
every
don't know which one the bookies were cheering for there. $91 and the $51 Street Smart for Glenn Lynch and Ronnie Maund. Ran third in the Toowoomba trial to get those Toowoomba trial results and monitor those more closely. Beat Regal Cheer, well tried, $260. Paulini, Nemerson doing its best work late, one batting up along the fence. Kenny, look, there's no fluke in that performance.
It was a good win, and as you saw in the papers this morning, Colin Tidy had a $500 bet on it and a $700 bet on it, and he had the $700 bet from one of Darwin's biggest punting agencies, so I think there was money for this filly all over Australia. If they're betting back, there's surely big money on it. Not a lot of depth in this race apart from Nemerson and Beauty Watch. I thought Beauty Watch, even though she couldn't accelerate in the 1200, I thought she was still a tad disappointing. But Nemerson, bit one-paced. I just think that she'll need a run or two to come into a form, and I think this time in she'll be a dead-set miler.
We had a look at some footage earlier when Glenn Lynch is the winning jock there, who does most of his riding up on the Darling Downs.
Let's talk about the future. To do that. Richard, the Royal Sovereign, let's talk about the future. What a great race this is. We've got Racing to Win, Flying Pegasus, Cedar, Manton, Ready As, Natural Destiny. How's the betting going?
And just quickly, he's still alive in the quadrilla here in Sydney. Here's something I'll be having after the last, $13, spot on. The Jackal, $19.50, 7 points longer in the bottom one. Letter
price $4, $13.50 for Manton, $42.90 for Ready As. Number 6, Natural Destiny, $4.20. He's eased out on.
All set to go. And they're off and racing. Flying Pegasus jumped out well. The Jackals missed the start. And it's Letter of Intent on the outside and Flying Pegasus. They'll contest the lead from Racing to Win and Side Nazar. Ready As, followed by the Jackal and then De Beers and Manton. And Dream Ballad whips them in about 7 off the lead. It's Side Nazar in front as they approach the bend from Flying Pegasus. He popped off the inside and Racing to Win. He's now starting to move up 3 wide. 4 wide as Letter of Intent. And Natural Destiny is wider out as they hit the rise now. And it's Letter of Intent, Racing to Win and Flying Pegasus, a line of 3. Racing to Win's the first to crack, but and Flying Pegasus fights on the inside. Now Racing to Win starts to lift and then Letter of Intent. Dream Ballad coming down the outside. Flying Pegasus holding Racing to Win with 100 to go. And Flying Pegasus wins it from Racing to Win. De Beers got up for third in front of the Jackal. And then Dream Ballad and Letter of Intent, followed by Ready As and Manton, Natural Destiny. And Side Nazar was last in.
Winning travel to Michael Rodd here at Randwick today. He's taken riding honours and he wins the Group 2 Royal Sovereign Stakes on the good colt, Flying Pegasus. David Trifecta, $70.50 on 3, 1 and 8.
Congratulations to Victoria Samba, partner, of course, of Dan Nicklick, owner of Flying Pegasus. I wonder if Dan can wrestle Michael Rodd from the saddle there, beating Racing to Win the favourite, who was good, De Beers, and a couple of good runs in the race too, Kenny. But Flying Pegasus, always promising and to deliver, and about to do so.
Yeah, I think the second horse is a very good horse. He looked as though he just needed the run yesterday, and he was struggling a bit of a distance out. Both of these colts are very good horses, Flying Pegasus, Racing to Win. You've got to throw them in with the Written Tycoons, Gonski, some of the top 3-year-old sprinters. What do you got in Melbourne?
Well,
I won't ask that because he got nothing.
Well, not colts. We'll hold that later. We can get into that with Steve later. Minson's our best 3-year-old around that trip at the moment, but he's gone to the paddock.
Stumbling. We're looking for more, and we've got half a dozen.
Hopes for Stevie King, $9, and Hinger at $11. Snort 11, Gate 13. We've got one chance here with Wonderful World.
And that's probably all. Bruce, I think that field's so even that I think the barrier draw will be hugally important.
The bookies. I'll go through those totes for you for the Silver Slipper, and I'm just waiting down the line to get an update on the likely new time of kick-off in the Blue Diamond at Caulfield. Here at Rosehill, Reigart from Queensland is at $9. Cruskit from Queensland at $19. Fairly similar to their price with bookies. $47.70 for Volta Boulder. You can double that with the bookies. $4.60 for Red Dragon is good shopping. Overs. $4.40 Boom Time savings. That's about right too. The next one, Spiel, was scratched this morning. $7.30 for Plagiarise. He's almost a point shorter on track. Or
one to load. Racing now. And Turban and Boom Time Savings missed the start, and so too did Aqua Bell. Showing plenty of speed was Reigart with 5 ways. 10 of Hearts has fired across from a wide alley. Making ground to 4th is Empress Jade on the outside of Plagiarise. Red Dragon is back about midfield, 100 to go. And 10 of Hearts is the leader from 5 ways, which has popped off the fence. It's a length away second, 2 lengths to Reigart. And back behind them, Plagiarise, followed by Empress Jade. Red Dragon is back on the inside under pressure from Gold Edition. Boom Time Time Savings has made up some ground. It's 10 of Hearts taken on by 5 ways at the 300. Reigart was next, and then came Plagiarise pushing out into the clear. Reg Reagan further back behind them from Boom Time Savings. It's 5 ways headed now by Plagiarise, who bounded away. She kicks away from Doom Time Savings coming down the outside, but it's Plagiarise and Woodland Stud taking out the Silver Slipper 2 years in a row. Second home was Boom Time Savings, a photo third, Reigart or 5 ways, and then back in behind them Gold Edition and Reg Reagan. Further back was Crusket, and then came 10 of Hearts. Aquabel and Turban, Volta Bolter, Coco Roca was last in.
We might have a new Golden Slipper favourite after that brilliant performance by Plagiarise, winning the Silver Slipper Stakes here on the Silver Slipper, the International Animal Health Silver Slipper. 680 and 240 the winner, 350 for second, 260.
For Johnny Hawkes and Darren Beeman being Boom Time Savings and 5 ways. And again, Kenny caught up with Darren Beeman after. She's a strong filly, Kenny. Where does she fit, as you see it, in the Sydney 2-year-olds this season?
She's the best. Now, we probably, when he shook her up, she was just going much better than anything at the finish. And, you know, the way slippers are run at top speed all the way, that will really suit this filly. She'll probably settle back, depending on the barrier, towards midfield, or if she gets a good barrier, she might settle.
But quickly through the Totes Rich, and then we'll take them onto the track. Yeah, number 1 Railings, $19, almost triple figures on track. Eremine, 13.20 is comparable. Courts in Session, 2.10 is spot on the mark. Desert War, $24 is spot on. Lock Ike Streams firm to point, $11 is value, and the bottom one, Primus, is a clear second favourite. 4.30 is spot on the mark.
To move up now for the Apollo Stakes. And Courts in Session, of course, a brave winner here. First up from a Spelly, ran second. Stand by for a start. They're off and racing. Ike Stream dwelled at the start. She's now starting to make up some ground, and Shania Dane came out running with Primus and Desert War, and they've headed Courts in Session early on here. Rodney Quinn sent Shania Dane over onto the rail. She's now headed by Courts in Session. Desert War striding up on the Ebony's head now, booted away at the 800, leads by 2 on Desert War. Shania Dane's third in the box seat, and then Primus on the back of it for Meramine on the outside. 4 lengths to Portland Singer. Ike Stream is off the bit, and then came Lachlan River. 5 lengths to Railings, and Dazelle is last of all, about 15 off the lead. The favourite Courts in Session brings them around the home turn in front of Desert War. Shania Dane behind them. Primus getting the rails run as Shania Dane comes to the outside, and then came Meramine. Courts in Session's under a lot of pressure as Desert War strides up to challenge. Shania Dane is moving up to make a line of 3, and Primus and Ike Stream is coming right down the outside. He's got a fight on his hands here, Courts in Session. Shania Dane hit the front. Here comes the stablemate Ike Stream. It's Beedman and Hawks again as Ike Stream powers to the lead. Ike Stream wins it from Shania Dane and Desert War, and then Primus followed by Eramine. Courts in Session disappointing today, and then Lachlan River and Portland Singer. Further back was Railings, and last in was Dazelle.
He's having a picnic, Johnny Hawks. A Quinella. I reckon you're doing it. Brian Martin.
Side for Darren Beedman, giving Johnny Hawkes at Quinella with Shania Dane. Desert War finishing third. Race record time you can see on screen there. Disappointment Courts in Session. Not so though for Darren Beedman. It had been a dirty start to the day from Field. Courts in Session didn't run to his best. Guy Walter's got a report that there's a problem with that horse. But we'll have a look at the head on here. We'll have a look how...
Paranoid. I'll talk about that in other races, but Primus had his chance. Courts in Session, Bruce, he wasn't the real Courts in Session. You know, I thought he was a certainty. I was wrong. He missed the start a little, or he didn't jump as well as he normally does, and then he just didn't show the zip mid-race. But saying that, take nothing away from these 2 courageous mares, Ike Stream and Shania Dane there. 2 of the best mares we've seen in Sydney for a good while. They both give their all. They fought this out. I think Shania Dane was probably the ride of the day. Rodney Quinn started outside Courts in Session and was third on the rails for the run. Old Desert War, he's never looked better than he looked yesterday. Like, he caught my eye in the enclosure, and he's going to still be a force to be reckoned with.
Simon, Desert War. I can tell you what's happening, Richard. It's just getting hotter and hotter. It's very steamy here. But anyway, we'll put up with it, and we'll try and find you a winner. Carline Couple. This race, Steve, has had some interesting manifestations over the years. It's been 2,000 metres, it's been 1,800 metres, it's been 1,600 metres, and now it's 1,400 metres. Of course, Northley won this race with 58 kilos when it was on the Tates. $5.10 grade is basically favourite just from Aqua.
Brendan Cormack, and he tells us that there's a fair amount of activity, storm activity across the Werribee district, which is not far across the bay here.
The 1400, Nicanero hopped out quickly down on the inside, out fast Live in Vain, and also Nips heading up towards the front, and with those Mr Murphy pushing up on the rail. Settling down, Live in Vain heading off Mr Murphy, followed by Nips and Nicanero. Further back in the race then came Batiro settling from Beautiful Gem, Greatest Great. A 2-length break, Batiro 2, Greatest Great, Aquanamore inside it, and she's got 3 behind her, Grey Song, Break the Vault and Umber. Strung right out, the pace right on, and it's Live in Vain coming up to the 650 by 3 lengths to Mr Murphy. 2 then to Nips and a half to Nicanero. 2 Beautiful Gem running 5th. Batiro 6th. A length further back than Greatest Great outside Aquanamore. Then Break the Vault followed by Grey Song, and 2 to Umber last of all. Up to the bend. Live in Vain by 2 to Mr Murphy doing all the chasing. They're followed by Nips. Nicanero back on the inside. Greatest pulled to the centre of the track. Aquanamore a mile back at the moment. Live in Vain by 2 to Mr Murphy. Nicanero. Then came Beautiful Gem followed by Nips and Greatest Great. Live in Vain getting tired, a length and a half in front. Nicanero getting off the fence late. Water out Beautiful Gem and fighting on back in the middle Mr Murphy, but Live in Vain hangs on. Live in Vain as well as a neck to either Beautiful Gem or Nicanero. Further back then Mr Murphy, Greatest Great and Umber. A gap then to Nips, Batiro. Aquanamore didn't come on despite the hectic speed in front from Break the Vault and Grey Song near the tail. 1:22.36, a good clip.
Phillies ran in the first race, which adds further credence to this horse's performance, and just B how well this track is racing. They're making ground, they're racing on the pace coming from behind. Big roller there yesterday for Live in Vain to be pestered by, and Live in Vain, Luke Nolan, Peter Moody. Good result for them. Beautiful Gem, honest again, of course, in the Orr Stakes.
Yeah, that's true, Bruce. I'd like to...
On a horse like Regal Roller, he took his time. By the time he got up to the hill, he was running those 11 subs each furlong. He can do that sort of horse, and roll along and keep going. That's what he's like. He likes to burn it at both ends.
Time ago, Steve Moore, I'm not sure if you've been out in the betting ring, and you can tell us what's been happening there, but God's Own certainly did open up very, very short.
I don't think there's been much action in the last half an hour, Bruce. The conditions here have been quite extraordinary. I think people have repaired to the bar. Those who weren't having a drink now are, and probably a few flutters interstate. But we'll get an update for you as quickly as we can.
All right, the update is we're trying to squeeze these races in, so we're running about 5 minutes late from the rescheduled time for this race, which was meant to be 2:30. Of course, that clashed with Sydney. The next race is...
come into contention.
Of course, this track is now a slow 6. Extraordinary that we were virtually running record times, and now we're to a slow 6 after, 20 mils of rain. There is God's Own moving in for the running of the Schweppes Cup. Let's go.
Signal is given. They're racing this time. God's Own, the favourite, bounce quickly. Apache Cat in front early, but Zagato wants to take it on in the early point of the race, and Apache Cat leads Zagato, who's keen to go to the front. 3 lengths further back, Empress Lily quickly got up 3rd, and God's Own is 4th. 2 further back out before the turn. Zagato got 2 lengths in front now from Apache Cat and Empress Lily. 2 further back then God's Own, 4th. Outside at Orange County from Brockman's Lass and Stick Pin to the fence. Apache Cat is striding quickly up on the outside to join Zagato when they turn from Empress Lily. Now, where's he going to go in the favourite God's Own? He's held up for the moment. Thin and Crispy and Brockman's Lass coming down the centre, but Apache Cat at the 200-metre mark, a length in front of Zagato. God's Own only struggling, then Brockman's Lass. Apache Cat in front of Zagato, and then came God's Own starting to lift late, but Apache Cat is too good, and Apache Cat gets to the line. 3/4 to either God's Own or Empress Lily in a photo for second. Then Zagato further back, then Brockman's Lass, Thin and Crispy. Stick Pin and Orange County is last of all.
Well, Apache Cat, just as he did in the Guineas Prelude, defeats God's Own, and a dominant performance has returned to Caulfield. This second band of rain and storms which we predicted is hitting here now, and there's as much rain in this second band of weather as was in the first band. So these conditions...
Tasting defeat. Number 3, Apache Cat, Glen Boss for Greg Urell. $8.60 and $1.90.
Race 3, and for the running of the Schweppes Cup, it really came down. It didn't help God's Own, but Apache Cat, for the second time in his career, had a victory over Australia's best 3-year-old, God's Own.
God's Own, the
Boss, of course, had been hoping to ride God's Own in Melbourne. He couldn't because Dan Nicklick secured the mount through to the Guineas. He ended up on Apache Cat, and that's a pretty useful pick-up for Glenn. He's been on the horse before. He'll be on him again. $9, beating the favourite God's Own and Empress Lily. Let's catch up with both.
Yellow and Brockman's Lass behind her. They both ran on quite strongly.
Yeah, Empress Lily, she was very fresh, wasn't she, yesterday? And she was specced in the market.
Raced keenly, pushed up wide on the speed, battled on pretty well, no weight, but she's entitled to have no weight against the males in this sort of race.
Simon, behind the winner there, you've got 5...
He's a chief Apache cat. He's not an Indian. I'll tell you something. He is a director of traffic. He is a very good horse. He beat God's Own second up last time in heading towards the Caulfield Guineas, as you remember, folks. He loves the sting out of the track. Well done to Greg Urell getting him right. And good ride, Glenn Boss.
Got the totes for the St George Stakes at Caulfield. Yeah, number 1 is Ladder the Manor. $1.70 on Super Tab, $1.70 New South Wales, $1.90 on Unitab. This is, of course, the Carlton Draft, Group 2 St George Stakes over 1,800 metres. Number 2, Roman Arch, $32.80. Perlin, $14.40. Number 4, Our Smoking Joe, is $8.60. The 5, the former Hong Kong runner in super form since coming to Australia with the David Hayes stable, who's won 3 in a row now. Sandown, Flemington, Moonee Valley. Vroom, vroom. Is $6.50. It'll give Ladder the Manor something to chase. Rare Poppy at
looking forward to seeing Ladder the Manor here. Coming up $1. As the rain starts to tumble down, they're off in the St George, and Vroom Vroom jumps straight into the bridle, landed in front here. Ladder the Manor began brilliantly, and there goes Perlin around the outside with Roman Arch, and further out Our Smoking Joe. So the pace is keen early. It's Vroom Vroom from Perlin up second, then Roman Arch third from Our Smoking Joe, and Ladder the Manor went back fifth on the outside. Ladder the Manor stalking these 4 in front, where Vroom Vroom led from Perlin. Our Smoking Joe going up quickly, Perlin under pressure. A length Roman Arch, then Ladder the Manor poised behind them. Rise On pulled around it from She's Just a Tat and Candy Vale. Vroom Vroom got a kick, 2 lengths in front of Our Smoking Joe, 2 lengths to Ladder the Manor. Now asked to get past Perlin, runs to third, but Our Smoking Joe's gone to Vroom Vroom at the 300-metre mark. They're 3 off Ladder the Manor. He's got a lot of ground to make up as Our Smoking Joe revels in this ground, and he is home. He's sprinted away, 4 lengths in front. Ladder the Manor running up on the outside of Vroom Vroom to second, but Our Smoking Joe, the ground is perfect for him, and Our Smoking Joe bolts in, wins 4 lengths to Ladder the Manor, a length away third, Vroom Vroom, a gap then to She's Just a Tad, Kinjal, Rare Poppy, followed by Candy Vale, Rise On, Roman Arch, and Perlin dropped out to run last.
Our Smoking Joe wins the St George Stakes at Caulfield, and the horses are going into line.
Plus the downgraded track for Our Smoking Joe, beating Ladder the Manor and Vroom Vroom. Noel Callow aggressive and positive on Our Smoking Joe. He had the 2 runs behind him, and of course Ladder the Manor was second up here at the 1,800 metres. Callow was positive, went forward. He knew that Ladder the Manor was chasing and stalking, but he had the fit horse. This horse, Steve, he's good on the wet, he's good on the dry. He's just one of the most improved gallopers in the country.
Yeah, tremendously so, and now he's a genuine stayer to boot, winning at 1,800 metres yesterday, of course, but he can step out to 1.5 miles comfortably these days. Good performance, conditions to suit. One quick comment, if you're looking at the sectionals in any newspaper, they're completely wrong. I don't think Ladder the Manor ran his last 200 in 9.7 yesterday.
If he did, he makes the winner's effort pretty good. Noel, he's off then to Sydney for the BMW and possibly to Singapore thereafter. They are 3 good gallopers here, Steve, aren't they?
Yeah, very much the case, and unlike the 2 other races yesterday, the Blue Diamond and the Oakleigh Plate, where the form doesn't usually stand up to the next major target, it does from the St George. 9 Australian Cup winners in the past 15 years have come through the race, and 6 have completed the double. Great to listen to Noel Callow there, isn't it? So incisive. The jockeys these days, Simon, terrific. I said to Roy Higgins, made that observation to Roy Higgins yesterday, and he said, when I first started riding, if you spoke to the media, no one would have put you on.
Yes, well, we've come a long way, haven't we? The 4-foot giants, Steve, were well educated due to the apprentice services that they do have on offer.
Was that before you started, was it?
Tough to beat.
And I spoke to Lee after the race too.
Of course, here to the Silver Slipper. So 2 of the great lead-up races to the Amy Golden Slipper. Number 1, Nadim's at $17.80. Number 2, Royal Persiles at $30. Number 3, Giro Sasso, impressive in the prelude, $6.90. Wonderful World, $5.20. Gate, $28. Blue Diamond Stakes, Nadim's Glow, number 9 at $6.80. Miss Fiddlin, $7.20. Number 11, Satin Robes, $6.50. My Only Hope at $20.
The track manager here at Caulfield trying to ascertain whether... we're down to a heavy now already. The track is now rated as heavy, and as you say, this weather that's come in the last hour or so here has really thrown this about the Blue Diamond Stakes, and now we have a heavy track for the Blue Diamond. I can't remember a Blue Diamond on a heavy track.
She might struggle to get through this ground.
Just been alerted. It was 1987, a heavy track, Midnight Fever, ploughed through it thanks to Dean Lester, who just knew that off the top of his head. Well done, Dean.
Ploughed through.
Signal racing in the Blue Diamond. And beginning quickly there towards the middle is Montfort, bouncing fast is Douay Sasso out wide. And on settling down, driving up, Nadim's Glow up on the inside. Nadim's Glow and Montfort lead. Wonderful World right behind them. Douay Sasso further out from Satin Robes. 2 or 3 further back, Snort from Royal Pericles. My Only Hope followed by Personify Nadim. Well back was Global Start coming down the side, and Gate has tailed right off as they race to the halfway mark inside the 700 metre mark. Nadim's Glow from Montfort, and out 3 deep on the outside, Douay Sasso. A length further back in the race then came Snort from Wonderful World, the middle. On the inside, Satin Robes from Royal Pericles, then Miss Finland. Global Starters a long way back. Montfort dropped out. Further back, My Only Hope, Nadim, Personify, and last of all, as they turn for home, is Gate on the bend, and Douay Sasso hit the front at the 400 metre mark from Nadim's Glow. Then down the centre now, Wonderful World from Satin Robes getting out. Then a gap to Snort, and further back, Miss Finland. Douay Sasso down on the fence, 2 lengths in front. Wonderful World starting to peg it back, and here's Nadim. It's going to swamp them and beat them. Nadim with a storming run over the top of them has got the Blue Diamond one from Miss Finland, and Nadim has won brilliantly. 2 lengths to Miss Finland, to David Hayes Quinella. 2 away third is Wonderful World. Then Douay Sasso, who stopped quickly from My Only Hope. Then came Snort, followed by Global Start. Nadim's Glow dropped out very quickly, followed by Satin Robes and Gate. Royal Pericles, followed further back by Personify, and last of all, pulling up pretty quickly, would have been Montfort. Nadim, number 1, has come from a mile back, has swamped them in 1:12.03. David Hayes has trained the Quinella in the Blue Diamond. Miss Finland is second. And just waiting on
him being displayed with his new rug there. And he's paid $17.80 and $4.90. Miss Fanland $2.90. Great performance, David Hayes, Quinella, and Wonderful World for the Bart Cummings.
But you know, that's a severe check. He's lucky not to fall. He would have had an excuse if he'd run second last off of that. So you know, I'm getting pretty excited about him. I'd hate to think what he's worth now.
Dwayne, were you almost off there?
Yeah, like he was ready to spit me out. Hit the ejection button, but I wasn't letting go. So, yeah, he was in difficulty there. So that's normal conditions, and especially on a track like today, that's a very good pickup.
But for a 2-year-old to pick up from that, an incident like that, balance up and be able to finish as he did, it's a sign of a quality animal.
Yeah, very professional racehorse, and when we're coming back, he started calling out and that, so I don't think the runs affected him. He's still...
What a win. $17 about Nadim. 2 weeks ago, this horse was favourite for the Blue Diamond. Went round $17. Absolutely stunning performance to beat Miss Finland, who was good. Wonderful World, good on pace. They've run 1:12.03. The track rated slow at this time, Steve. This, I think, is a good Blue Diamond.
Yes, I think so. It's hard to be definitive about any conclusions given the state of the track by this stage. They still ran along 35.9 first 600. I think the performance of Douay Sasso under the circumstances was terrific. But the winner, Nadim, Linker's first time, it was shades of God's own in the Caulfield Guineas, really. Rain-affected track, severe interference, rattling home. A big effort to pick up under those conditions and find the line.
Let's go to Dwayne.
Well done.
And I've got to say a special thanks to Craig. He did all the work on Nadim this week and sharpened him up for me. And, you know, it's bad luck he missed out, but... he showed what a good jockey he is.
Yeah, and I'm led to believe that you're the man that put him on the wrong horse.
Yes, I did, but he agreed with me.
Yeah, well done, David. Thank you.
Well, it is a big team operation there. Lindsay Park, David, of course, heading the operation. Tony McAvoy still there. Craig Williams, Dwayne Dunn. It's his 3rd Blue Diamond for David Hayes as a trainer, and now he aims to win his first Golden Slipper. He's going to have some pretty decent cattle, those 2, plus add Churchill Downs, and the best 2-year-old in Australia. I got chills. Simon, that incident on the home turn, as a jockey, Dwayne...
The 2-year-olds in the shifty going happened really quickly. He couldn't do much about it. That's him in the blue colours.
Second last, basically.
Yeah, second last, third last in your picture. He grabs hold, dips, goes down, he's left... knee nearly comes out of the saddle. He has to balance the horse up. To the horse's credit, he's still knocking with that horse outside him in the lime cap.
My Only Hope.
My Only Hope. So now at this stage, look, momentum. He was just travelling beautifully at the time. So the horse really hadn't done any work by then. By then, Dwayne just basically had to balance him up, wait till he got 5 or 6 strides into the straight, give him a backhander, remind him he's a racehorse. As I said, he hadn't spent any petrol by then because he drew an outside gate and had a soft run. And what I want to do say is, though, when you look at this horse's form, and the reason he probably started he was $5 favourite at one point of time in heading into the Blue Diamond. He had 2 runs down the straight at Flemington. His first time he turned at Caulfield was in the preview. The blinkers on for the first time. He got back, he got lost, and he didn't really know what it was all about. That was good experience for that horse, and he also showed that he was a 1,400 metre, 1,600 metre horse in the making.
Runners that David has now for
keep rolling her forward. She never got a...
there, Simon, you just see it.
In the
there
black,
she is there.
gold cap, black and gold checkered colour. She drifts out the back there, 2 lengths off him. Now, Craig has to just niggle her for the first 600 to stay in touch with the leading bunch here. She did a lot of work, in my opinion, getting to the 500 metre mark. Right here, she's not even quite travelling on the bit. Now, she's getting a lot of surface water and also clods getting thrown back in her head. She's still going forward. What she's done here in a Blue Diamond is phenomenal, in my opinion. She's going to be an exceptional filly, and when she steps up to the Golden Slipper, when she's given that little bit of break now, and she's been able to...
Currently sits for the Golden Slipper. Miss Finland, second in the Blue Diamond, and Nadeem, the winner, for David Hayes, both at $7.50. I got chills. Well, there's the snoozer, $9. You won't see her before the Slipper, but the tip is she's going extra well. Plagiarised right into $9 now. Then Mirror Mirror. Thanks very much to Richard Callender there at Rose Hill. Horses coming into the mounting yard here at Caulfield, including the sun. Surprise, surprise, surprise. We've had it all here now. The sun is back, the rain is gone, but we have a heavy track here for the running of the Oakleigh Plate, and perhaps that's the reason that we find the takeover target, believe it or not, came up $6.90 on the tote. Believe it, $6.90 on Super Tab. Shorter in New South Wales, $3.80, but about a $4 chance here on course. Of course, Voyage de Fortune's good value of the tote, $3.30 Super Tab. You're looking at closer to the Unitab price for what's happening there. Miss Andrew track downgrade, $6.30. A point longer here on Fortune, really tightening up on the totes. Look at that price, takeover target on the tote and Super Tab, $7, and has been easy here on course as well, takeover target. Remarkable quote about the horse we thought would be about a $3 chance until the rains came. Of course, we have a heavy track. What's the mail? $9.90 down to Wildly $8.90.
Light blinks and they're off. Voyage de Fortune break the line very quickly with Schnitzel, and also Solar Antiquity away quickly. They're pushing up just behind them. Takeover Target and the white sleeves, white cap from Stratum. Now it's Schnitzel going through with Voyage de Fortune. Further out Proprietor, the inside. Back along the inside is a Consul. As they come up the side of the track now inside the 600 metre mark, Schnitzel from Voyage de Fortune. Proprietor a length away third, 2 then to Takeover Target, Solar Antiquity the fence. Then Stratum, What's the Mail? Further back Wildly, Miss Andretti. Then a Consul, and last of all, Grace and Power. Schnitzel first for home, and Voyage de Fortune's under a lot of pressure at the 300 metre mark. Then Proprietor out wider from Takeover Target. Schnitzel in front, drifting down to the inside, 2 lengths in front of Voyage de Fortune. Then Takeover Target, Proprietor, and What's the Mail? Schnitzel going brilliantly at the 100 metre mark, is holding Voyage de Fortune at bay, and Schnitzel is going to win the Oakleigh Plate. Schnitzel by 2 lengths, Voyage de Fortune, 2 away third, Takeover Target from Proprietor. Grace and Power ran on from Miss Andretti. Then further back, What's the Mail? The Consoliver came into it from Wildly, Stratum, and last of all is Solar Antiquity. Schnitzel, number 9, Craig Newitt at Group 1 level for Gerald Ryan. A 3-year-old colt by Reduced Choice. What a sensational day for Reduced Choice. The Quinella in the big one, the Blue Diamond, and the second of the Group 1s going to the Reduced Choice colt. Schnitzel, he notches his 6th win.
Yeah, it was. He's a real little bulldog, this horse.
All clear to pay. Well done if you've got the quaddie, because you've got about 70,000 to play with. Schnitzel, number 9, pays $12.20 and $3.60. Craig Newitt. His second Group 1 in 2 weeks, winning on Schnitzel for Gerald Ryan. Big result for the team, Damien Flower and Arrowfield team. Voyage de Fortune, every chance second, heavily tried. Takeover Target, good in the conditions, running third. I think the point that John made was widely agreed upon, was that the fact that the handicapping was a compressed scale, not just against Schnitzel. And even Greg Carpenter, who is the chief handicapper for Racing Victoria, did say it wasn't the most inspired piece of handicapping he produced, but it was an inspired performance, though, Steve, by the winner. To me, it was a lacklustre race. It was sort of pedestrian to watch.
Yeah, it probably was to some degree, and very quickly, of course, Greg Carpenter is constrained by certain restrictions now under the rating system, but I'm sure he'll have a look at it. Winner Too Good, 51.5, beat arguably the 2 best sprinting horses in the country. I thought the one...
In midfield. No disrespect to the other runners in this race, but it was lacking depth. It was a very ordinary Oakleigh Plate, if you ask me.
Two best
apart
in
from
the country.
Virage de Fortune, Clarkie, and apart from Takeover Target, Snitchell was your third pick. He's he got beat just less than a length, under a length, to a Sparkle Life at Group 1 company in the Manikato when he was very unlucky. He's a very good horse, Snitzel, and 1.5 minimum.
The day was in fact Redout's choice, Simon. I know you've got a close affinity with Redout's, of course. 1-2 in the Blue Diamond and the sire of Snitzel winning the Oakleigh Plate.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, no doubt about that. He's a phenomenon. His fourth crop this season. 7 individual Group 1 winners. I spoke with John Massara, head of Arrowfield Stud there this morning. As you can see the pictures here, this is from his stallion parade this season. 170 plus mares he served this season at 200,000 a pop. And, well, he is a phenomenon. There's no doubt about that. Nadeem, Miss Finland, that we're going to talk about for the rest of our life.
Well, he stands currently for $220,000 at Arrowfield, and there's some speculation from John Massara that might even go up, Simon. So